Alright, yo, 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 it's your boy Yoshikidneo, and hopefully my stream is working. But we're back in the Kingdoms of Borodil, and today the party is going deep underwater. We'll see what happens down there, but should be a good time, so yeah, hope you enjoy.
Cousin, y'all know what's up.
Man, don't be doing
Yep.
that. Alright, so the last time we saw our fateful heroes, you guys had just finished witnessing the summoning of a demon lord known as Yanagu. The summoning occurred after the killing of the Death Knight, as well as the killing of hundreds of other humanoid creatures of gnolls and humans alike during the little battle at the city of Krom. When Yanagu was brought into the material plane, he proceeded to toy with you guys, saying that you guys were the reason this took so long, but he's there now, so he wasn't too furious with you guys. But he proceeded to play with you guys for a little bit. He let you guys try to hurt him, and you realized that your weapons and magic were barely leaving a scratch. And eventually he had enough and feared you guys all away, and then went to start devouring some corpses by this really large bonfire. It was a good time. You guys ended up, after a few minutes of running around and casting some spells at some other gnolls that were far enough away but still within range, you guys got back together, and all the gnolls looked at you as you guys started walking away, and they started cackling. As you guys started walking away, there was about 20 people, 20 humans that started to pretty much like walk towards you guys from the way you guys had come originally, and they introduced themselves as members of the Black Hand, your favorite people. They said that they somewhat followed you guys to this location and were there to receive the payment that you guys were overdue on, and that it now was 100% interest, aka 1,000 gold. You guys decided Mirrodin wasn't a part of any of the stuff that happened, so he didn't have to help you guys, and you guys pitched in gold to pay your debts and essentially be able to get out of there without a fight. They let you guys pass, and then they started to essentially chain up and move any of the other surviving guards for relocation. You guys, with your tails tucked, headed back to the City of Guilds to report to Ceres. It was late at night. You guys had pushed through the middle of the night to get there sooner instead of taking a rest. And when you got there, Zuka went and woke Ceres' ass up and told him what was going on. He also figured that there might be a mole or something in the organization, but Ceres told them that although it is possible, many people see the information about y'all's contracts, something y'all probably weren't aware of. So, unfortunately, this makes it really hard to find out if someone is in the organization and working with the Black Hand, but Ceres is going to work on it for you guys. And then he asked you guys not to tell anyone about that, because then it makes it a lot harder to figure it out. After some more talks and stuff like that, Zuka, Cyrene, and Alfric all got mail. Zuka and Cyrene got letters from home, and Cyrene let off a little bit of what she had in her letter about the Sahagin all of a sudden leaving their homes to go elsewhere, which was very strange that they just up and left their homes to do something different. And Zuka, I don't believe you said anything about your letter. And then Alfric had a package which he took to his private room and opened up. And for whatever reason, when he opened it up, it made a really loud bang noise and had him unconscious outside of his room. So when you guys went to check on him, he woke up and had no idea what the hell was going on. But he felt really tired and decided, yeah, don't worry about me. See you guys tomorrow. And then you guys decided you were going to take another contract just to try to get some gold after losing all of yours, essentially, almost. And you took the buzz-off contract, which would take you from the City of Guilds to the Zerodel Empire that is in the desert area to deal with some wasp and see what was going on there. As you guys got on your boat to head there, about an hour and a half, 2 hours into your sailing, and you had about a day and a half's travel by sea because the wind was not in your favor at the time. But about an hour and a half to 2 hours into the ship ride, you guys were attacked by some Sahagin and Marrow. And after you guys had dealt with one of the Sahagin quite quickly and then proceeded to really injure one of the Marrow, this other creature that was half humanoid, half octopus appeared onto the boat right next to Mirrodin. And as it scanned the battlefield, it saw Cyrene and made a beeline to her. So you guys realized that his target was Cyrene. So you guys did your best to protect her, which you did pretty well. Mirrodin was able to put her up onto the crow's nest, which was 30 feet up in the air. Lacan was able to use his chainsword to keep the creature at bay in pretty much in one spot. But then more complications happened in the battle. You guys heard a bang on the underneath the ship, and as one of the sailors went down there, he shouted that there was a big hole. So the captain drowned, who is a water genasi, ran down there. Mirrodin and Zuka ran down there to try to deal with the threat, which was 2 Marrows that had busted through the bottom of the boat, causing it to start sinking. You guys you were able to kill the Marrow, and then with the help of their body weight, you were able to push planks down to sort of cover up the hole, and Drown was able to use his water genasi abilities and shit to move the water away so he could nail in the planks. Unfortunately, though, when you guys resurfaced, your comrades Lacan and Cyrene were no more, and the creature was not seen. You did see a blood trail that led to the side of the boat. When Drown had got up there, he jumped overboard, took a look, came back up, and said that he didn't see anything. He went to his captain's quarters, came back out with this little flare gun, popped it up in the air, and this green smoke filled the sky. And that's where we're going to pick up today's session, is with Zuka, Drown, and Mirrodin at sea. And we'll go ahead and say that probably about 10 minutes have passed of you guys just kind of like surveying the outskirts of the horizon for any signs of, help. So go ahead and roll me perception, please, for Mirrodin and Zuka. Okay. You both, as you're looking, who's taking the north and who's taking the south side of the boat?
I'll take the south side.
Okay. So you guys divide and conquer to see what's going on. Mirrodin, as you're looking, you see a bunch of different seagulls, which tells you that you guys are somewhat close to land. It's within a couple miles for sure. Whereas Zuka, you see what looks to be a ship, probably about a mile out or so, and it'll probably take them 20 more minutes or so to get to you guys, but it is beelining to you guys. Drown goes into his captain's quarters, and he comes out with a spyglass, and he heads up to the crow's nest, and he yells at you guys, I'll go ahead and take a look, see what we're dealing with. Would you guys go ahead and make sure that all that water, there's no more water in the bottom part?
Alright, I'll do my best. I go downstairs.
Okay.
Zuko follows.
Okay, and you see the Marrow bodies that are still down there. One of them is on the planks, which is definitely helping like sort of compress it onto the water. And you got like maybe a little bit of trickling that comes out like with the waves as they roll up, like a little bit of splash comes out, but it's honestly not anything to be worried about when it comes to like drowning or beginning to sink. So far the handiwork looks like it's holding. And you guys hear Drown climbing down the ladder. Well, fuck.
Fuck.
Pirates.
Pirates?
Well, you gotta be kidding me.
Unfortunately not. In all honesty, I expected something like this to happen. There's not too many boats, or ships I should say, at sea, just willy-nilly. And coming from that direction and seeing their sails, they're definitely pirates. But luckily, on this ship, we were transporting you guys to a location, so we don't have any precious cargo. If you do have anything that you don't want them to take, I would do my best to hide it somewhere on the ship as best you can. Because they most likely will take it, if they can.
Man,
Son of a...
like, um, can I find like a barrel to put my stuff in?
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and roll
there a barrel?
me perception check, see if you can find a good hiding spot.
I am also going to try to find a hiding spot for my ludicrously large amount of gold.
All right.
You'll
So
start.
Gerald, you look around and you do see 3 barrels sitting in a corner. So you take all your stuff and you divvy it up between the 3 barrels, and you kind of nod your head. Yeah, that'll do. Mirrodin, you look around and you find a crate that's in the very back corner of the ship, and you're like, "There's no way they'll ever find this," and you put it in the crate. You guys walk back up.
Can I at least I at least want to keep like my alchemy set and stuff just in case.
No, yeah, definitely.
Okay, cool.
All right, so it's at this point that it's probably going to take another 10 minutes for the pirate ship to come by. Bazooka, you get this message in your head. The voice sounds like Saris, and essentially the words start to flow into your mind, and you're kind of like, "What the hell is this?" And you hear Saris go, "Zuka, I tried contacting Lacan, but I didn't get an answer. What is your location so I can send Alfric?"
Yeah, I have no idea. Like how am I talking to him? Just in my mind?
Yeah, just in your mind.
Well,
You have 25
we're
words, by the way.
oh, okay. I think if I'm not mistaken, we were heading south from the port. Is that correct? Can
Correct.
I like? Okay, yeah. So
Yeah,
I
you
see
would
that.
know that you're going southeast along the southern trade channel.
We were on our way to there now.
Okay. A few moments go by and nothing happens. A few more moments go by and nothing happens. And then
Can I,
go
real
ahead.
quick, also, can I use my diagnostic ability?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, we don't have to do it now, but if that's okay with you, just to not interrupt.
Yeah, who are you using it on? Mirrodin or Drown?
Oh, can you hear me?
I didn't hear anything you said after I asked the question.
Oh, I wanted to use it on this dead body down here.
Okay. All right. What 2 things from that list do you want to find out?
The dexterity, strength, and constitution score.
All right. His dex score is 10, constitution 15, and his strength is 18.
All right, hold on. I'm trying to type this in real quick.
So Mirrodin, as you guys are hiding your shit, Zuka goes over to one of the bodies, and you watch him pull out his little alchemy kit, and he starts to sort of slice into the flesh of this creature, and he's pulls out a little notepad and starts writing down notes about the creature. And it takes him about a full minute before he puts all his stuff away, sort of washes his hands with the water that's coming through the cracks of the planks, and as he dries them off, he probably would say something about it, but I'll let him do that.
What
All
are
I'll
you
say is
doing there?
I'm studying this beast.
Oh, can you tell me what you find out?
Yeah, for sure, for sure. I figured we would need it, especially if we keep running into these things. So I share him what I found out.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. So now you know a few of the stats of the marrow there. And as you guys are finished with this, when you walk back up, you start to hear the wind pick up towards this side of the ship. And Drown is kind of looking over there curiously, and with a loud sort of, not really a really loud bang like a thunderclap or anything, but like with a pop, all of a sudden you see a few people pop out. And a horse. And the horse falls into the water, making a big splash. And then this armored dude, if I could get Reed to make me a dexterity saving throw, please. For you to try to grab. Okay. You watch this armored character sort of, it looks like he was riding on the back of the horse, and he falls, and he tries to grab the side of the railing, but he ends up grabbing it and snapping it with the weight of his armor and plunging into the water. Alfric, you fall face first onto the deck, and you kind of pick yourself up, brush yourself off, and look, and you're like, oh shit, where's our teammates?
Ugh. Where am I? What's going on? Oh, shit!
There's also a really tiny person that you guys remember, Flickflam, who was able to essentially just pop out right on the ground as if she had been standing there the whole time.
Friend!
No, I continue to go down in the water as well, right?
Correct, yeah. You and your horse are in the water.
Alright, I'm gonna grab... Is there any like part of the side of the boat I can grab?
Yeah, the boat's anchored. It's just sitting there. So there's plenty of like, there's actually like a little ledge that's probably about a foot above where the water is kind of crashing against the thing that you reach up for. Your horse starts to doggy paddle towards you. As
Well, that
Mirrodin
was
looks
interesting.
over, as Mirrodin looks over the boat, you see
Really confused about why there's a horse.
Yeah, there's this horse that looks like it's wearing splint mail, as well as a armored.
No.
Oh, you
It's
didn't
not
know?
wearing split, no.
Okay.
No.
In that case, I don't know what it's wearing. But there's
Or
a
there's-
horse, and there's a humanoid-looking figure that's wearing splint mail. I think I've got that correct, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and he's also got a helmet. They're currently grabbed onto the side. Drown comes over and he pulls over the rope ladder, and then he kind of scratches his head and he's like, "It's gonna be quite tricky to get that beast on here."
Yeah, I don't understand quite how there's a horse here.
Well, we were teleported after all.
Is that what happened?
Looks like it.
Alfric, in your head, you hear the voice of Ceres. Please tell me that that teleportation spell worked out okay, and you guys are at least near the boat.
Yeah, we're good. We're good.
And after you say that, you don't hear anything else. So you got Reed's new character is able to grab onto the rope ladder and bring himself up if he wishes. The horse desperately tries and is not having a good time trying to get up there.
No, well, I'm gonna stick with my horse for now, but I'm looking up something.
Okay. But Alfric, you're there, and you see Zuka and Mirrodin, as well as Fligflam, who ended up coming with you guys as well. Saris figured the more the merrier after what he heard about the disappearance of Lacan and Cyrene.
Hello, everyone.
Yes, everyone. Hi.
Hello, what's this? I wasn't told there'd be no boat.
I'm not really sure of the scenario. We were just told to get here as fast as possible, so news to me as well. Zuka, what's going on?
Oh my god, it's like a long story.
It really isn't.
I see a few dead creatures on the other boat. Where's everyone else at? Where's Cyrene and Lacan?
Introductions are great and all, but we got a horse trying to swim.
Can we even get him on the boat?
I am personally not powerful enough to lift a horse onto a boat, and I don't have any particular ideas.
Okay, give me a second.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm gonna cast levitate.
Are there perhaps any
horse.
other? Is there another entrance to the boat?
Drown
Or
kind
is
of
climbing
scratches
the
his
only
head.
option?
I mean, in all honesty, we could probably just make one.
No.
I mean, I would prefer not to do that either. This is more of a transport vessel. It's not really meant to hold cargo or seize cargo, but you know what? And he goes under
Is there
the
not
deck.
a cargo entrance by chance?
Drown.
Nope.
You're not going to open the hole up again, are you?
No. And he goes underneath, and after you hear a little bit of rummaging coming from underneath, and he comes out and he's got this big ass net. In all honesty, if we all were to work together, we could probably lift the horse. And I mean, I don't know if you can soothe it or anything, armored fella, but if you can, he tosses the net over the side. It's like, if you can, we'll just scoop it up and try to heave it on up.
You have no
trying.
worries. The horse will comply.
Jeff, you
And,
can use levitate if you would rather.
Yeah, I'm just gonna use levitate. Just cast out the net when the horse gets up high enough, and I cast levitate
Okay.
on the horse and slowly raise that sucker up.
Yeah, I'll say for the purposes of the armor and stuff not being on the horse, that it weighs less than 100 or 500 pounds. Although I think a horse traditionally weighs more than that, but I don't feel like researching it. So you guys watch Alfred cast a little spell, and all of a sudden the horse starts to float above the water, and it starts to freak out.
Cast out the net. Bring it in.
Well, no, hey, I communicate with the horse and tell it everything's okay. We're just helping it out of the water.
Okay, and it looks at you,
I
and
can do this. Yeah.
and you guys watch as the armored figure just looks at his horse and kind of like pats it on the nose, and then it instantly just stops freaking out. After it gets high enough, you guys are able to sort of toss over a smaller net and sort of bring it over, and finally it's above this location.
All right.
But it's still levitating.
Oh no.
Once it's safely over the boat, I levitated down.
Okay. So it lands, and it looks as if it's really joyful to be out of the water as it sort of clomps around, and it's like well,
I'll climb up onto the boat now.
that was quite bizarre. Can't say I've ever had to fish a horse out of the water before in all of my sailing career.
Can't say I've ever been dropped into the middle of the sea with my horse either.
Very true. I'm going to assume you're probably with these guys, so I'll let you guys do your thing. I'm going to go ahead and start trying to prepare for whatever these pirates... Oh yeah, there's pirates coming. If you have anything of value, I'd try to hide it. Unfortunately, I don't have any hiding spots that are really good, as this is not a smuggler ship.
Huh.
Yeah, so
Well,
there's that.
news to me.
Yes. First things first. We do have a little bit of time before the pirates get here. I'm assuming. So we don't know where Cyrene or Lacan are.
Nope.
My assumption is that they were dragged, swim. They were taken under the sea.
Under the sea.
Under the sea, yes.
What happened? Like, what happened to the other boat over there? There's these two large sea creatures on it.
That is the under part of the boat.
Oh, that's never mind then. I don't see that. What's happened?
Well, we were attacked by a bunch of fish folk. That went pretty terribly, considering we don't know where Cyrene or Lacan are.
Okay.
You have
Zuka and I are pretty fine.
you have no idea?
Okay. I have a little bit of an idea. They're somewhere below us. But that's a very vague area.
Are they
Also,
dead?
I can't breathe underwater.
Yeah, that too. Alfred, quick question. Who is this gentleman that came with you?
Oh, Saris brought him to me, and he was actually looking for Lacan. Had something important for him to discuss with him.
Oh, that's unfortunate.
My name is Cassius. And yes, I've been looking for Lacan.
Okay, who's the that's one.
That one? Oh, this is Flig Fam. We went on a small adventure with her earlier, before you arrived.
Pretty cool. She's pretty good.
She's all right.
I can't say I recognize most of you.
You've met Zuka and I.
Yes, well,
I'd be hard pressed to forget someone that looks like Zuka.
this is
Only
true.
seen one of them.
Yeah, Zuka doesn't know whether to be offended or not.
No, it's a good thing, Zuka.
You are very unique, my friend. For me, anyway.
Okay. But sir, again, Knight, what is your name again?
Cassius.
Cassius. Okay. Well, nice to meet you. I'm sure that you mean well and everything. So you said you're looking for Lacan. So also funny story, and you inform him of everything that's going on.
Okay.
So you were fighting on a boat, and you came up, and he's just gone.
As if they were never there.
That is
Right. So right now, what we're trying to do is trying to form a plan to see if we can find two of our friends. But in the meantime, we have to deal with this pirate ship that's coming up. Also, Brady, how close is the ship?
It's probably within a couple minutes of you guys. Like, you can see it. It's a really large vessel. You do see that the cannons are currently put away, but you see the hatches where cannons would normally be. And there's also this big-ass, like, metallic object in the center of the ship. So, like, if this is the center of the ship, there's, like, this big-ass metal cage kind of structure, but it's, like, a solid, like, brick of iron.
Huh.
So any ideas?
Drown looks over to you guys. Only idea I got is if you make them look, they will find it. So if they do ask for anything, I would just give them something.
Mirrodin goes down and gets like 100 gold out of the thing, out of his thing.
Yeah, Drown, you see he's now tied a coin purse to his belt, as if he knows exactly how this all works. This probably isn't his first rodeo. But as the ship gets closer and closer, you do see this half-elf female run to the sort of like whatever this little pokey part is called. So you see this woman. As you're looking at her, she looks more half-elf, but somehow she's gotten all these like sea ornaments affixated to her skin, almost as if it's like some sort of armor that she's formed. But she runs to the side of the boat, and Kirsten, if you need to describe your character anymore, go for it. You're muted, by the way.
Yeah, I forgot about that. I think that's about it. She has red hair, and the all the shells and stuff are like part of armor and things like that she's collected for her journeys.
As the ship gets a little bit closer, that part of the ship gets within probably 10-15 feet. So it's enough for you to jump on board if you would like to. Otherwise,
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll jump on board.
So with a very graceful leap of faith, she's able to do. Go ahead and roll me a acrobatics check real quick. Let's see how
Sweet.
cool you did this. Okay, so with a standing leap, she puts out her arms and she brings them round back and jumps and does a backflip, a double backflip actually, and lands in the sort of middle of that deck right there. And as she does, you guys swear that you see lightning sort of emanate from her feet for just a moment, but then you kind of blink and rub your eyes and you're like, what the fuck?
Prepare to be boarded.
Well, looks like you already have done.
Clever. I mean, the rest of my crew is shortly on the way, so I would recommend not putting up a fight.
You guys watch as there's probably about 50 people on the deck of this new boat, and they all take these grappling hooks, swing them over, and they all like clamp on to the sides of the boat, and they start reeling it in as the boats get close enough. Another gentleman, two of them, bring out this really large plank and put it down in the middle, and they all kind of stand there, and then this gentleman comes from where he comes from the steering wheel, hops on the thing. Ah! Looks like someone needed some help, so we've come to help you out. But we don't do things for free. No, 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 no. There's always a fee. And he hops down onto the deck and he looks over. He looks to the left at Mirrodin. He looks to the right at Drown. I'm going to go ahead and go on a limb and say, you're the captain, or you're the cap... No. And he looks at Zuka. Why, what a magnificent brute. You're so tall, you've got to be the captain. Am I right, or am I right?
I don't know, Captain B. They all look pretty clueless to me.
This is what he looks like. Pretty cool guy.
Yeah, I was gonna say he looks all nice and fancy.
Whoever your captain is, let's have a discussion. Do you have a quarters? And Drown sits there and goes, yes, I've got quarters. This way, please. He's like, oh, didn't expect the scrawny one to be in. Am I right? You lads over there, see what repairs they might need. Green smoke means repairs. At least that's what I remember when I was an honest man. And these two
Nice one, Captain.
go into the back area, close the door. And then a bunch of different little commoners, sailor dudes, start jumping over, and some of them come over to you. They look at Mirrodin since you're the first one there, and they're like, "So where's the damage?"
Oh, the damage is at the bottom of the boat. There's a hole.
Cool, thank you. And they walk away and look down. They're like, "Oh my god." They come back up.
Oh, and there are these creatures.
Are they alive?
They're dead.
Cool. You guys mind helping us get rid of them so we can somewhat repair your ship, maybe?
Oh, sure, I'll help you out with that.
Perfect. As probably about 10 crewmates come and they start investigating the ship, and as they're doing it, they're kind of like touching on different things and like, yep, we could probably repair that. Yep, we'll probably repair that. Yeah, we could repair that too. And they go back to their other side and they get a bunch of paint supplies, they get a bunch of wood, a bunch of scrap wood, scrap metal, and they come over and they just start doing an overhaul on this boat. Like they're repairing shit that does not matter at all. And then about 5 of them, after you guys are able to move those bodies, since there's enough of you, it won't take anything. Do you leave the bodies on the ship, or where do you actually? So, are you guys keeping these things, or can we toss them to the sea, maybe as kraken food?
I had no particular plans for them, no.
Okay. You heard it, boys.
Disposal's extra.
Yes, exactly. So, that's what. Oh, that's like 100 gold for each, man. Well,
y'all are taxing.
They look over at Zuka. No, can you say that a little louder? It's kind of hard to hear when you're mumbling.
Oh. I just look away.
Okay, lying to me, that's an extra 20 gold, I guess. So we'll just add it to the list. And you see a guy over there, he's scribbling down various tasks that are being completed.
Zuka is irritated.
After a few moments, you guys see 2 merfolk get onto the plank and start walking over. The gentleman has a little staff in his hand. This is what he looks like. He's wearing sort of like a breastplate that's kind of adorned in like seashell inscriptions and what looks like wavy lines to denote the sea. And then you see this woman come over. She's got this little veil on her face that kind of hides her face, but not really. And as they get over, they both kind of look at each other and look at you guys and go, "So we saw them take Marrow and toss them overboard. Is that what caused this whole debacle?"
Ah, why yes, that is what happened.
That's quite strange. Marrow aren't usually this close to the surface. Was there anything else accompanying them?
There was a strange black creature that did some weird stuff. And then it ran off, I guess.
That's even stranger. Might I ask, were there Sahagin present? You would know what a Sahagin, yeah. You would know what they are.
Yes.
And Lauren, I think we're close. Judging by the looks of you all, what do you guys do for work? What is your presence out here at sea? Don't worry, I'm not part of this pirate crew. I'm a whole different entity. We're just traveling with them for the time being.
A different entity.
He looks over at you and casts you a glare. Yes.
Zuka keeps quiet.
I see we already got him pissed off. Mirrodin.
What was the question?
Oh, he asked if.
What you guys do?
Yeah, what you guys do for work and why you're out here.
Oh, okay. Well, we're just a band of adventurers from. God, what are they called?
The City of Guilds?
We're peacekeepers from the City of Guilds.
Peacekeepers. Oh, okay.
Oh, peacekeepers. Hold on a second. Would you all happen to know a peacekeeper by the name of Cyrene, by chance?
Yes.
Oh, yes.
We're not 100% sure where she is right now. She's probably overboard.
But she was here?
Oh, she was, yes.
Yes, she was part of our party.
Ah, excellent. And Lauren, we found her.
Was. What does that mean?
Actually, that's
Where
a
is
good
she
question.
now?
Yes, what do you mean by was part of your crew?
Well, she's not here right now, so what I'm trying to say is we have no idea where she is. Other than she's probably in the water somewhere.
We need to notify Captain V.
Yes, he seems to be dealing with the captain of this vessel while these absurd repairs are being taken place. This is honestly seaside robbery. You do understand that, right, Sito?
Yeah. And yes, I do realize that.
Well, I don't question your work. You all are helping me as much as I'm helping you. And as long as that's all.
Yeah, as long as we're all helping.
He walks over to Mirrodin. He's like, "Are you the leader of this group, then?"
Normally, that one over there, the human Alfric, is the leader of the group. I just sort of joined fairly recently.
I just got here moments before you did, so I'm not the person to talk to.
I was more or less going to ask you questions about Cyrene. And
yeah, I can answer that then. Yeah.
Well,
what's up?
How has she been doing?
She's been doing all right. She's been going on contracts with us. As we're peacekeepers, we go out into the land and try and keep the peace, if you will.
Has she become stronger since joining the peacekeepers?
Oh yes, we've taken down an Oni. We've fought on kegs. She seems to be, doing well in the group.
Your feelings are showing, D.
So during that conversation, Zuka interrupts and asks, "What business do you have with Cyrene?"
We're friends of hers.
Somewhat, yes. Cyrene and I go way back. In all honesty, I never thought I'd see her again after she left Triton. But, as a peacekeeper, I feel like she'll always, at some point, come back home, maybe for a job, and I was just hoping to possibly be able to see her, reminisce about old times. And as he starts talking about that, the girl kind of comes up and shoulder checks him and is like, but all merely professional, of course.
I owe her debt.
If you want to talk to them about that, you may. But yeah, Cyrene was quite the public figure in Triton. She helped out many, and it's always nice to know that our fellow Tritonites are doing well. It's honestly very sad to hear that she's disappeared. But once Captain V gets done essentially taking all the money that your poor captain has, I think we can come to an arrangement on how we could probably get her back. If you all are down for that. I don't know how much she meant to you, but I would like to go and try.
Well, we already lost one member of the party. Try not to lose any more. So I'm willing to.
That's very good to hear. I know some peacekeeper groups don't end up having that connection with each other, and they end up losing people, and it's almost as if they don't care. So it's quite nice to see that that's different with you guys. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Well, we
Uh-oh.
can't.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. What's
My
wrong?
display is blinking in and out.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Why is this happening? Okay, I think I fixed it. I can be heard, correct?
Yeah,
Mhm.
we're good.
Yeah.
Alright. I think everything's fine. Okay, cool. That I was like, is my computer about to die? What's going on? Like, it's plugged in. This should not be happening. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, cool. I think I got everything working again. So those sailors, but they bring a couple hefty logs, and they bring them under the deck, and they place them down on those other planks, and you can hear them hammering stuff into the bottom there. And then more people go down there with some paint and other scrap wood, and they start hammering into stuff as well. At least their ship will be fully repaired, I guess, but it annoys me. Sito.
Keto. And yes, what's up?
As you say that, he kind of just shakes his head. Never mind. And he walks over, patiently waiting for Captain V.
So where were you off to?
Zuka again keeps quiet.
I like you. You're so verbose.
Anyone can speak.
So we were actually going to go take care of a contract in the southern Boridil desert. Apparently, the tribe of Tusculi there was becoming more aggressive, and we're going to look into it.
Interesting, Blondie. I've never been to the desert. I've always lived on the ocean.
Yes, it'll be quite a different experience, I'm sure, for most of us involved.
Where are you from?
I'm from... because I forgot, personally, Martin has forgotten the name. I'm from an island to a little bit southwest of Grista.
Interesting. What's the name of the island? I might have been there before.
Are you talking to the big ass tree? That island?
Yes.
Okay. You would know that that's known as the Sacred Grove.
That place is known as the Sacred Grove.
Ah, interesting. One of my parents
And
was from
trust me,
there.
you would remember. Really?
I haven't been.
Interesting.
Things Mirrodin would know about the Sacred Grove, as apparently being from there, is that there's a lot of fey creatures, and the sort of weave between the Feywild and the material plane is the weakest there. So a lot of Fey take up residence. It's very colorful, very bright. Honestly, a lot of people go there and are unsuspecting of the actual horrors that could lie within. You have to be very careful with the creatures there. It's definitely not a child's playground or anything like that.
I figured with the race that I chose, it would make sense.
Yeah. And it definitely does make sense. So, yeah, those are things you know. No one else would know. No one else has been to the Sacred Grove. That I can assure you. All right, Drown. I think we've come to a great arrangement, you and I. You know, if it wasn't for this whole aspect of you being part of the City of Guilds, I'd say you and I could go into business together. But unfortunately, that's not going to be good enough. Mr. Tucker, and the gentleman that was writing stuff down, he goes, "Oh, yes, sir. The ledger, please. How much do they owe us?" And he gives him a thing, and he starts reading through it. Okay, all right. Repairs to the railing, paint job. Oh, I like the fire on the sides. Makes you go faster. All right. Yep. Okay. Yep. You had a little tear in your sail there. I think that happened when someone was working on it, so we repaired it for you. Not free of charge, sorry. Looks like a grand total of your repairs, Captain Drown, come to about 5,000 gold. You don't have to pay now. We can come and collect it every now and then periodically, but he kind of looks around. Maybe your seafaring friends have some coin they'd wish to pitch in. Mr. Tucker, take a bucket and get donations from these good lads for all the trouble the Drown has had to go through because of them. Yes, that is perfect. And if they don't pay, that's when things get complicated, gentlemen. That is when things get complicated. Cito, see to it that they pay a small fee, please. And
Keto.
he signs the ledger and rips off a portion of it and puts it into Drown's pocket. And you guys look at Drown, and he is noticeably pissed off, but he's not saying anything. He's like, "All right, fair fellow. I'm glad we could actually help you out today. It's been a couple days since we've actually helped anyone out. See, our pockets were starting to get a little light. You know what I mean?" He's not very fun-filled, this one. Anyway, we're going to stay and finish up a few of the repairs, but you have the bill. Other than that, he walks over to his two merfolk friends. Are you all ready to set sail anytime soon? Or is this what we were looking for? And the gentleman, actually, yes, this is precisely what we were looking for. I think what we need is nearby, so if you could prepare that thing, and he points to the large metal box that's on their ship. I think we'll be going underwater here soon. Perfect. Drowned, can I get that? And he goes in and grabs the receipt from this thing. It's an extra 500 for the use of our equipment. It's okay. It's okay. You don't have to pay anytime soon, probably within a couple months or so. You have a wonderful day. You might want to go rest. You're looking quite cranky. Anyway, yes, I'll get them in right on it. And if you want to debrief them on what exactly we're doing, Drown, if they help us while we're helping you, it might bring down costs. I think I'm done talking to that man. Yes, I am. And he stops looking at Drown completely. But yes, you go ahead and debrief them. I'll get the iron box ready. And he heads back over the plank. Starts shouting some orders to people, and you see them sort of running around the ship, and they're starting to crank on some little little devices and stuff. And you see this big metal box start to kind of float up very, very slightly with this crane. And it gets moved over to the side of the ship to where it's dangling above the water.
I'll see you in the bubble.
So as
What now?
I look over to Zuka and I give him this incredulous look and whisper, "What the hell is happening right now? I'm so confused."
one of the gentlemen comes up with a bucket that Mirrodin just put 100 gold in. He's like, "Donations, please." He comes up to Alfric and he shakes the bucket.
I'm still trying to understand what's quite happening here.
It's quite simple. Take gold and put it in this bucket. Honestly, you're a wizard. You should know this by now. He shakes the bucket again.
I think I'll
Captain V.
have a rain check on that.
Captain V.
Please, Alfred, just be forthcoming here.
As much as you can.
I hand him 20 gold.
What a poor wizard.
I say nothing and look away.
He goes up to Zuka. Donations, please. As much as you
Zuko
can
walks
spare.
off. Zuko walks off and goes to talk to Brown.
Yes.
He's not donating.
Oh.
Prepare the cannon. More repairs incoming.
Say what now?
Yeah, that's what happens, I guess, when you don't follow the rules of those that are just trying to help you.
Yo,
You guys,
your man just said there's no rush to pay this. I am in no rush to pay this.
No, these are donations. These are different. These feed us. After all the hard work we do, you didn't even offer us lemonade, so we take your gold.
It's okay, Tony. I'll throw you 50 gold for the one with the trunk.
You're welcome. That's generally what you would say, trunked one, to someone that helped you out. What a rude one.
I think that he's just having feelings.
He heads up to Fligflam. Donation, small one. Are you even allowed out here?
You're going to extort a child.
Unfortunately so. I'm sure you got a doll or something we could play with.
I try to place in a rations.
Well, he takes the rations and eats it. They're not bad. That'll do. He heads over to Cassius. Donations.
I was just teleported here. I have nothing to do with what happened.
That's very cool. Donations.
Bugger off.
Alright, well, get ready the cannon, please. I would probably move away from this area. There's going to be repairs that happen.
Yeah. Zuka throws a sack of 100 coin. Like, please leave.
You did have money.
I always knew it. I guess, Cito, you paid for that asshole over there. Apparently he was teleported, but he looks at him. I don't see any magic emanating from that guy at all, so I think he's lying to me. But this is enough, and he shakes the bucket. This will pay for about a month's worth of food. Yum. Wonder what we should buy. I think we're gonna get a couple pigs or something. And as he's saying all this, he's walking over the plank with the bucket, just looking at it. Yeah, we'll probably get some turkeys and stuff like that. Yep.
Don't forget a chicken or two.
Oh, that's good. That's a good one. At this point, the merfolk gentleman is rubbing his forehead. We should be done with this soon. Gentlemen and ladies, I do apologize for these pirates, and he uses quotation marks with his fingers. But they do good work when it's time. My proposition to you has nothing to do with them. That is our business. But what I can promise you is if you help me find out where these Sahagin and apparently these Mero are located, more than likely that is where your friends are, and more than likely that's where an item that I require is located. So do we have an agreement? You and we protect each other on this voyage. Once I obtain the item, no questions asked about what it is, and then we go our separate ways, and I'll make sure that that bill is taken care of. And he looks over at Drown.
How are we supposed to do this exactly? I get the inclination that it's underwater.
You would be
It's
quite
the
correct.
Bubble!
Unless
And
you have a way to walk on clouds.
I do not. What is this bubble?
He points over to the big-ass iron cube thing. That's what these pirates have been using to search for buried treasure for the past few years, apparently. Inside of it, it brings a pocket of air so that they could free dive, essentially, on the bottom of the ocean, using their various light sticks to see if there's any ruins or treasure about. But things have become a little bit easier since I've joined their crew, as well as Cito over there. as
Is
we
it safe?
possess.
One day you will learn how to pronounce my name.
Maybe. He looks to you, Alfric. Is what safe? The bubble?
Yes.
It is. It's actually the safest route in order to get down. You don't have to worry about all the pressure building up within your body to what would make your eyes explode.
All right.
Or you could be cool like us and learn how to breathe underwater.
I feel like I don't have enough time for that. Or that's not really within the realm of possibility. So I look over to Drown. What will you do while we leave? Or will you be coming with us? Or
Oh, definitely not. Captain doesn't leave his ship, especially when pirates are about. I'll do my best to make sure that they don't try to repair anything else. And he kind of, you can see his eyes twitching a little bit from this whole ordeal. But if this gentleman, if what he says is true, then hopefully this bill becomes null and void when you're all done. So if you wouldn't mind doing a good job, please.
I look over
Sure
to
thing,
everyone
Captain.
else.
So, when they describe the bubble, I maybe it's this part. Does it cover like the whole body, like all?
Yeah, so essentially it's like, think of how a shark cage is shaped and you would get in it, but the only part that's open is the bottom. So that gets plunged into the water and you get a little splash in your face, but it captures the air in there. Sort of like when you take a cup and you just dip it into the water so you can see the big ass air bubble. That's essentially exactly what it does. So then it'll bring you all the way to the bottom of the sea, and from there you'll be able to swim for a little while, go back and get pockets of air. But he ends up going, "Don't worry, we have the magic to make sure all of you are able to breathe underwater for a prolonged amount of time, but this is just the safest way to get down there for sure. The only thing I see," and he looks at Zuka, "do you know how to use a crossbow?"
I'm sure I can manage.
I feel like a crossbow would probably help you more than the longbow of yours. So he looks over to one of the sailors that's finishing up their little repair job. He's like, "Get this man a crossbow, put it on my tab." "Oh, okay, well that's awfully nice of you." And he walks over. "Does anyone else want some sort of weapon for underwater combat, perhaps? Because things could get dicey. It's not guaranteed, but it is almost assured."
Ooh, do we still have some of those wooden tridents? I want one of those, D.
Sure.
Yay!
Kyle, you're using a dagger right now, right? Or a rapier?
Both.
Okay. The dagger is able to be used underwater. The rapier is not. So any weapon that's not on the revised martial equipment underwater weapons list, whenever you attack with it, it's at disadvantage. If it has the thrown property, then it can be used normally. Otherwise, if it's a ranged attack, then it's also at disadvantage, and it only goes up to its first little bit of range. So let's see, with yours, your daggers, you'd be able to use short swords. You can use as well underwater. So with your weapon proficiency there, Kyle. So
Okay.
if you want to add either of those to your list, and you can use them.
Sure, I'll drop in a sword.
Perfect. Well, if you're coming underwater with us, let's go ahead and get on cozy in the bubble, and we'll get underway. He looks over at Drown again. "Again, I am terribly sorry. I'll take the bill regardless of what ends up happening. How about that? My family can afford it for sure." And Drown he looks to be a little less upset, but he's still pissed off, and he's like, "Yeah, that would be most helpful." Okay. Let's see. If Mirrodin wants to give me a perception check real quick, as Zuka gets close to Brown. Okay. You hear Zuka whisper something, and then you see Drown sort of shake his head, and then Zuka walk back. But you weren't able to hear what he was saying. And Drown looks over to Cassius. I can take care of your horse for you.
That'll be fine. The horse will cause no trouble. And unless I would have telepathically told the horse, I'll just be gone for a bit.
Okay. And he sits there and he shakes his head like he's upset. He walks to the side of the railing there and takes a shit into the ocean. And Drown kind of raises an eyebrow. I don't know what the hell you taught your horse, but bravo. One of the sailors on the other side is, man, I was looking forward to cleaning that up. That would have been 50 gold, but oh well, I guess we'll just stay over here then. Your ship is all spick and span now, sir, so we'll just be over here waiting for our friends to get back. Maybe if like some seagull comes by and like takes a poop, we can clean it up for 25 gold each. So, and you watch as he picks up a bag and he tosses bird seed onto the side, onto the deck. He's like, that should probably bring them over. So we'll be ready to clean it up at any moment now. Don't worry. And Drown is like, oh my fucking god. He goes and grabs a broom and starts sweeping it up. I gotta say, let us take care of it, otherwise we'll have to charge you double. I'm sure it does.
So thoughtful.
We just do what we can to make sure everyone's happy. So, you guys, Zuka, do you have the properties for a crossbow, or do you want me to read them to you?
No, I don't have them pulled up right now.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready. And do you want the heavy or light crossbow? A heavy crossbow is two-handed. Light crossbow, I think it's also two-handed. Never mind. But
Unless you're proficient.
Yeah. Well, no.
Or you have that skill.
Yeah, we'll
right?
not be proficient with it.
That's the hand crossbow that was one-handed. So
Oh, that's what I was thinking of.
do you want a hand crossbow?
Would I be proficient with it if I had it, or would it work underwater if I did it?
Yeah, yeah, and I believe you are proficient with it. So you would get the martial version of it, so it can shoot out to 120 feet, and it's a light weapon. And you can reload it with a free object interaction. So go ahead and add to your character sheet. Add hand crossbow. Because you got sharpshooter, you can do 120 feet. And then also put that its damage die is a d6 plus 1 plus your dex modifier. And then I believe you got a short sword, correct? Or are you using a long sword?
No, I'm using a long.
Okay. Do you want to switch it to a short sword so you don't have disadvantage, or do you want to keep the long sword and have disadvantage on attacks with that?
Yeah, if you're letting me switch, I'll switch.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. So go ahead and add a short sword as well. You're proficient in that as well. And its damage is going to be d6 for you. Plus your strength or dex, because it's got finesse. And essentially what you can do is, because both of those weapons are light, is you can attack with like your short sword, for instance, and then use your bonus action to shoot your hand crossbow, and then you can use your free object interaction to reload the crossbow. Because that's how things work. Other than that, you guys go ahead and scurry on over to the other boat, and they have you, or they have a little ladder that you guys climb on in order to get into the bubble. The only actual pirate to join you guys is Cedo, and that's how you say it, correct?
Keto.
Keto. Is Keto. And then the other two merfolk join you guys as well, but you guys know that they're not officially part of this pirate crew. They're just for right now. You guys hear Captain V. Well, we're looking forward to your return. Make sure you bring back plenty of treasure. For every bit of treasure, we'll knock some money off of that bill, huh? You guys do really good down there. If you're not back within, I guess, a reasonable amount of time, what, hour, 2 hours? What do you think, Keto?
With this lot, maybe give us 3 or 4.
All right, can do. Y'all have fun, and you hear a click, and all of a sudden this box plunges into the water, and you guys all kind of like hold on to these little railings that they've got in there, and you're kind of like, what the fuck is going on? And you can feel the thing start to sink, and then all of a sudden after it gets to where it's like completely underwater, it starts to go a lot faster. At this point, the merfolk gentleman begins to cast a spell, and he selects all of you and gives you underwater breathing for 24 hours. He then reaches into his pocket and he pulls out these little like lima bean things, and he goes, if you're not proficient in the water, if you're not used to it, I would highly recommend eating one of these. And he holds out these beans for anyone that does not have a swimming speed to take.
Expensive beans.
I'll probably take one too.
How long do they last?
They essentially last about an hour, sometimes 2. It all depends. Just eat it. Try not to throw it up. It doesn't taste the best, but it does work.
All right. Thank you. Can I eat one?
Okay. All right.
Hey,
so,
Brady,
what's up?
How you want? Well,
can I have the benefits of a short rest?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah, if anyone needs to short rest it up and use hit dice to heal, or if you get anything back on a short rest, you guys definitely took one while you were waiting on the boat. And then for everyone that takes one of those beans, go ahead and mark that you, after you eat it anyway, go ahead and mark that you do have a swim speed that matches whatever your normal movement speed is. And specifically, as Mirrodin, you said you pop it in your mouth and eat it?
Yeah.
So you guys watch Mirrodin without hesitation grab the bean, chew it up, and goes, oh, wow, that is awful. And then he kind of like grasps his hands. He's like, what? And you watch as this sort of webbing starts to form itself on his hands, and he almost turns into like fish hands in a way. Think of how, like, what creature? I guess like a mermaid or something, like their hands with that big ass webbing. And then he feels his feet and he's like, what the hell? And he takes off a boot and his toes have a big ass webbing on it too. Yep, it essentially makes it way easier for you to get around underwater. But don't worry, it only lasts for an hour, maybe 2.
Well,
And you
that's
said the
not the
speed-
weirdest thing that's ever happened to me, so.
The speed was 50?
No, it's whatever your normal movement speed is,
Oh,
which
okay,
for all
okay.
of you should be 30, except for
Yeah.
Flig Flam, I think it's 25.
Ha.
After probably 10 minutes of this box dropping to the bottom of the ocean, it finally stops. And as it stops, it kind of jerks for a second and it throws you guys off balance, but you've been holding onto the railing, so it doesn't like make you fall overboard or into the thing or anything like that. And then the gentleman sort of cracks his neck. He's like, all right, a couple things about deep sea fishing. That was good. And he kind of waves a finger. The sea is full of mystery, and honestly, at this part, you're going to see a lot of weird things. Try not to let that alarm you. With this underwater breathing, you are able to speak underwater, as you normally wouldn't be able to. So I do highly encourage you to talk if you see something that catches your attention. There are a few of us that should be able to see in complete darkness. For those of you that can't, I would try to get around the middle. There are some outcroppings of various substances, sometimes underwater mushrooms, crystals, even jellyfish, that will illuminate a little bit of area to give you the peace of mind that you're not just in complete darkness. But if it really makes a difference, we could light up our way. Unfortunately, that could possibly give us a way to the Marrow and the Sahagin, as they do not require this light. But we will do it if we require. All up to you.
They could always hold hands.
That was my initial impression that we would try. Just try to stick as close as you can to each other. If we remain in contact, we shouldn't get lost. Those of us that do have dark vision, periodically look around and make sure we aren't being followed or anything or anyone accidentally swims off the wrong direction. I would hate for us to get misguided and then lose somebody. Well, and as he says that, he jumps on into the water, making a splash. And his lady friend jumps in after him.
I'm in next.
Okay. And
Yeah,
then
I'll eat the bean and then go in.
you guys watch Cassius pop open a little bit of his helmet. So just to where you can kind of see his mouth, and he pops it in and chews it up. And the same thing happens to you guys. Like even so, Cassius obviously is wearing gauntlets, so you can feel the sort of webbing start to happen, and it kind of actually like pushes out through your gloves, and you look at it.
I was gonna say, like, would I be able to just take off the gloves and boots for this purpose?
Yeah. Easy enough. So you take off your boots and your gloves and leave them here. Doesn't affect your AC or anything like that. And as you guys jump in and start, there is light emanating from the bubble, so you can see exactly where you need to go if you end up having to go back to the surface. And you guys hear the merfolk gentleman. Well, if you get lost, just look for this big bitch. Come back over and just wait in until they pull you up. If you are the only one that makes it back, more than likely try to tell them not to come find us. That probably means that no matter how many people we send, we're gonna just keep losing.
Cool.
So as you guys are all swimming, for those of you that have dark vision, go ahead and give me, now that you're in complete darkness and you only have your dim light to go off of. If you have dark vision, roll me a perception check with disadvantage. If you do not have dark vision, you cannot roll. Zuka, you can roll it for using your sense of smell underwater at extreme disadvantage if you would like to.
Yo, extreme disadvantage.
Does that mean roll twice and take the lowest of the four?
Wouldn't that be a bitch?
That'd suck.
May I cast Mage Armor, Brady?
You may, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's weird as you non-water breathers hop in, you hold your breath instinctively as you first start going, and as you start to feel the sort of choking sensation as you need air, you take a leap of faith that the spell works, and you take in a breath, and you just feel all this water running through your nostrils and down your throat into your lungs, and you can feel it expanding, and it kind of hurts for a moment. Like, this is exactly what drowning feels like, and it's awful. It's a terrible feeling. But as the water finally expands your lungs and you breathe out and you continue to breathe in, and you're like, oh wow. Oh wow, I can actually breathe underwater. You find calmness in this, and all you really hear around you, because everyone can definitely hear, but all you hear is like the various like moving of the water. You hear a train. Also kidding. No train.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned the train.
Yeah, you're good, Jeff. But you guys hear, like, you can hear various like little fish as they sort of like come. They swim over to see what's going on, and they swim away, and you can hear them like getting out of the way. You hear the seaweed as it's kind of like moving back and forth and stuff like that. But the gentleman, the merfolk gentleman. All right. Do Mirrodin, or actually, you never said your name. What's your name? And he points to you, Mirrodin.
My name is Mirrodin.
They call me Donfus. Do you? Yeah.
Okay.
Do you know exactly maybe what direction they swam?
No, I couldn't see them.
You watch him, I guess maybe Donbos. Yeah. You look at, he tells you guys to kind of sit right here for a moment, and he sort of swims up. And he swims far enough away to where those of you with dark vision to 60 feet, you don't see him anymore. And he's gone for probably about 15 seconds or so, and then he comes back down. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say they're that way. And he points to what you guys would assume is sort of the northwest direction. And if you're wondering why, there's a large light emanating from that location. It'll probably take us about 20-30 minutes to swim over there, so try to keep up, everyone. And he starts to swim. You notice that his legs have formed together into a tail, and the same with his female friend, and they start to gently glide through the water.
Brady, so just to get a better idea of what's happening, so we're diving in open water.
Not open water, no. You guys are at the bottom of the sea.
Okay.
And there's like there's like rock formations and stuff that are down there. There's coral and stuff. It's not like completely open.
Okay, so we took the bubble down, and then now we're just we get out, and now we're just going.
Yeah, now you're just following him. You, unfortunately, at this point, are completely blind.
Okay, because of that, I'd like to cast Alarm, because I'm scared.
Okay, what do you cast Alarm on?
I guess my clothes.
I'll allow it.
Or my bag, I suppose. Or...
I'm about to say, I've never heard anyone make a mobile alarm.
Yeah.
Maybe even invented something.
I'm just scared.
I'll allow you to alarm your backpack.
Okay, I'll do that then. Is there any rocks or shells or anything like that that we see that I can pick up?
You can't see shit, but you can feel.
Do
a sleight of hand check.
I'm gonna run my fingers through that water and see what I find.
An eel! Ah! Kidding. All right, so you guys, as you're swimming, you notice Alfric. He kind of like Mirrodin. You're looking at Alfric as he's doing this. I would assume you're towards maybe the back. You got the merfolk in the front who can see, and then the other two that are in the back have dark vision and can see back there. So with Alfric in the middle, he's moving his fingers through the sand, and anytime he feels like a solid object, he grabs it and sort of feels it in his hand as he's kicking with his feet. Some of them he tosses back because they're just rocks, they're bits of coral. But after a couple of attempts, you do get some really nice seashells.
Oh, cool.
They're probably about as big as the palm of your hand.
I will put those big ass seashells in my backpack.
You get 3 of them.
Cool.
I'm gonna take Alfred's hand.
Oh, I freak out. I freak the fuck out. I don't know who's grabbing.
Alfred.
Ah!
Start swimming now.
Okay.
Alfred.
I take your hand and I kick faster.
Paddle.
Periodically, Donvis looks back to make sure everyone's there, and so far everyone's doing a really good job. If you guys want to do any role play, he does say that it's going to probably take about 20-30 minutes to get to the location, so you can talk for a quick minute while I go use the bathroom.
So Alfred, why were you searching for shells?
Oh, I just I don't know. I like to collect, little knickknacks and whatnot.
Ah.
Just curious what I find. I hear you.
That's nice.
Yeah, I hear there's pearls in some of these.
You sound like a pirate.
Yeah, I guess I got the makings for one. If I'm looking out for treasure.
Well, Mr. Captain V is always looking for new recruits.
Oh well, I would take you up on that offer, but I feel like we are already kind of in a contract that we can't really get out of anymore. So.
Well, Alfred, to be fair,
Hmm?
pirates don't necessarily abide by contracts, right?
Oh, you get me, Blondie.
I kind of feel that the city of Guilds would not be happy if we kind of just up and left. They might hunt us down. I feel.
But you'd be a pirate.
Yeah, but I mean,
What would you carry?
I look over to Quito, was it?
Yeah, Keto.
How long are pirates' life expectancies?
Okay, I'm back.
That is a great question.
I feel like
If you're smart enough, you can live for quite a long time.
I don't know. I can't really. I don't know how long peacekeepers live for. I've seen, I guess, at least one die in the last week.
3.
3.
Roasted.
Well, pirates' lives are definitely can be longer than that. Or, they can't be. It depends.
Okay, I guess it depends on the pirate. But I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we can work together in the future, perhaps.
I know as a part of my crew, I've been almost 2 years now. So.
Okay. Well.
Yeah, your weapons are good now, Zuka. I fixed them.
Well, that's good to know. But I think for now I'll just stick to the peacekeepers. So. But thank you, though.
You don't want to repair people's shit that they don't need?
I'm good.
It's quite lucrative because they have no choice.
I'm actually kind of actually good at that myself, and I look over to him and can he see me?
Oh yeah, he can see you. You can't see him. You can just.
I rip my my cloak a little bit and I mend it in front of him.
It doesn't work for some reason. I'm kidding.
Oh,
I'm
sad.
kidding.
I'm sad.
I was just fucking with you.
I just look like a dumbass.
Is that some sort of magic trick?
Yeah, in a way.
So he keeps swimming, and he keeps a soft voice as he asks these questions. He's not really trying to, alert anything nearby that you guys are down there swimming. But has Cyrene ever said anything about me or her family back at home? She's been gone for about 3.5 years now.
I can't remember anything specific. We've only been traveling for what?
2 weeks now.
Yeah, 2 weeks now, and we haven't really got to know each other that well. Just mainly, going on missions. So
2 weeks, I feel, is a long time to get to know somebody.
we're still warming up to each other. I feel.
I guess it takes a little longer with some folks. Little disappointing that she doesn't even seem to miss it then, but I guess everyone longs for something different, especially through the childhood she had to go through.
What do you mean exactly?
That's her business. If she hasn't told you anything at all, I'm not going to be the one to tell you.
Well, then what is your business with her that you would care so much?
As you hear him kind of taking a breath, and he kind of, you can hear his movements, and he sort of sounds like he's moved. Like those of you that can actually see, he moves away from the lady because she cast him a glance. It obviously appears to you guys that she doesn't like when he talks about Cyrene at all. Well, Cyrene and I are childhood friends, and eventually she became my first flame.
Oh.
We were quite strong together, but then she got sent away after a few things had happened within her family. It was kind of... It wasn't her fault, I don't resent her for it, but I never got the chance to figure out, like, what if, you know?
You want that closure. I understand. Sorry for bringing this up if
No. If anything, it just upsets her. You can hear her kind of like give up, kind of thing. It's like, no, you're my flame now. Cyrene's in the past.
Well then, question to DM. Do we know that Cyrene was royalty or no?
No.
Okay.
Well, you did see an official like seal on her note that she had, but you don't know if that's like her family specifically or if that's like someone, that's just sending it and they're a part of that royal family or something like that. So you don't know exactly because I don't believe she went into specifics. All I remember you saying, Kirsten, was that, hey, my people said this. I'm pretty sure that's exactly what you said.
I think I said my parents.
Oh, in that case, yes, you would know that Cyrene is of some sort of royal status then.
Okay. I look to Donvos and ask, do we exactly know what's in these waters that we're going into?
Hold on. A flame is essentially your loved one, your partner. And the whole process of it is to kindle your flame together so that it becomes everlasting through the fruits of your love. And what was your question, Alfric?
Do we know what's usually in these waters? Are you familiar with these waters?
Actually, I'm quite familiar with most of the ocean, and I'll tell you right now, let's hope some of that shit doesn't appear.
I kind of I read in books, large sea creatures.
History check.
Oh, you're right. Yeah. Let's see.
I mean, Cyrene did tell them that the Kraken essentially exists.
I read in books, and let's see what I remember.
So you have heard of a lot of strange different creatures that live in the dark depths, and from what scholars that actually go through and like investigate the bottom of the ocean, you know that the amount of things that they've discovered doesn't even scratch the amount of things they predict are down here. So they do know of some very large creatures. They know of like a giant eel that's usually around 12 to 20 feet long. Lives down here. They've heard rumors of giant tortoises the size of islands that sometimes slumber on the sea floor for decades, if not centuries. They've heard rumors of krakens and those large creatures, but usually they don't come close enough to the surface to be a bother to landlubbers. But this gentleman, as you kind of tell him things, he confirms or denies them.
Okay.
He tells you he's never seen a giant turtle like that before. He's seen giant sea turtles, but they're not big enough to be considered an island. He also tells you that krakens are a legend that's been passed down in history with their people, almost kind of like the dragons with your people, how they're rumored to be around, and if they are, it's kind of curious as to why they're not just ruling everything with the amount of power that they control.
Yeah.
But he hasn't ever heard of anyone in his lifetime seeing a kraken.
I tell him
Except
that.
for Cyrene when she was drunk that one time.
Yeah, I mentioned that Cyrene told us a story of how she saw a kraken.
Yes, that Cyrene was full of stories. One thing I do miss about her. No. And you see him get a nudge. Your stories are great. You have really good stories. But nothing about kraken. Sorry. It's cool. Cyrene was really cool. And you can hear the gloom in his voice as he's talking about this kind of stuff.
Okay, yeah, I tell him that there's a few things that I find scary in this world, and one of them is like the deep ocean. The
Yes.
stories I hear are terrifying.
In all honesty, the fact that you didn't have to witness the marrow so far is probably a great thing then. Once you see those things, you'll never want to take a bath again. And it's
Well,
at
I
that
can't.
point that you don't hear his tail flapping anymore, and Mirrodin, you see him kind of pull to the side and stop, and then with like a snap of his finger, he lights a like sort of light in his face and gets right into Alfric's face and goes boo.
Ah! please, man. Like I can't see as it is. Why?
Because that was just a test. It's gonna be far worse if we get jumped.
I'm honestly kind of worried about that because I can't see like anything at all.
If
I'm-
we
You
do,
wizard.
if we do end up finding combat before we get there, I'll make sure to light up the area for you, or maybe
Okay.
you can do it yourself, or one of your friends. I don't know your magical capacities.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it. Oh,
Yeah, wizard. Marrow won't say boo. They'll greet you with teeth.
That is a factual statement if I've ever heard one.
thanks.
Oh, everyone! He holds out his hand. Stop. Quiet. Everyone go ahead and roll a stealth check with advantage as you guys kind of stop. You do notice that there's a bed of kelp in front of you. Wow, what the hell was your original roll, Martin?
A 7.
Oh, why is it not showing as your character?
Because I had it on normal.
Oh, I see.
So I rolled twice.
That works. Group consensus. You guys are good.
Can I take some kelp?
Sure.
Yeah.
And we'll use your 13 for you going out and grabbing kelp as you make noise, as you slice the kelp and stuff. And the merfolk cast a glance at you and then realizes you can't see him, and he's like, "Oh frick!
What? Oh, what's going on?"
We stopped
Tug
for a
him back.
reason." And he goes, "Shh." And then at those of you that can see with dark vision, you see a couple reef sharks starting to swim sort of in your direction a little bit from the kelp, and then they turn around. And then they come back. And then they keep on sort of encircling this kelp field. And there's probably like 3 of them that you've noticed so far within your 60 feet that you're able to see. After they kind of go away, he turns and goes, "Alright, the sharks are a good sign. That means that the Sahagin are near, so we are definitely heading in the right direction. The thing
Are
is,
near or not near?
they are near.
Oh, okay.
See, the Sahagin have a special connection, a special bond with sharks, and essentially any sharks in the area are under their control. And the thing about reef sharks is they don't typically come down this deep, so the fact that they're here definitely means the Sahagin are as well. They're probably on the other side of this kelp field. And as dangerous as it is to go through it, that is our best bet without alerting the sharks and alerting the Sahagan. So, it is imperative that we do not get separated. Is that understood, everyone?
Understand? Lead the way. I can't see it all.
Understood, D.
Yes, that works.
Okay, so as you guys are swimming through the kelp forest, you all that are, if you have any skin exposed, which I'm sure most of you with the light, either light armor or less, would have a little bit of your skin exposed, and Cassius definitely feels it on his hands and feet. But you feel, periodically you feel the kelp as it's kind of moving with the current that's around, touch you, like very briefly, and then it kind of wraps around you for a moment, and then it just like, it's this like really slimy feel. It's like utterly gross for those of you that aren't used to this feeling. It doesn't seem to bother the merfolk or Keto at all. They're quite used to the feeling of kelp, and you notice that they've started to slow down their swim to try not to draw the attention of the sharks. And Donovus keeps looking like all around him and keeps on twirling and stuff like that, just making sure that they're safe. Go ahead and everyone roll me perception with disadvantage, except for those that can't see. What's up?
Question.
Even
Go on, Rick.
even us without the dark vision.
Correct, because you can feel stuff. But go ahead, Jeff.
When we leveled up, we got new things. How did we decide to like roll that? Like if I got new spells and whatnot. Like if I got new spells and whatnot. I don't remember what we talked about. I was gone for the last session, so like we got new spells.
No, so the way wizards work is when you level up, you just pick 2 spells in which you have
Oh
spell
no.
slots.
But like, how did you deem it? Like, do we have to go back to the guild and like learn them and practice them?
You guys just did the thing. I wasn't gonna do. Like if you guys were in town, I was gonna have it for flavor, like maybe a couple days of downtime where you practice your stuff. But if it doesn't happen, then I'm just gonna let y'all level up.
Okay, I didn't quite remember. That's all.
Oh yeah, you're good, dude. All right, so let's see. So Mirrodin, Cassius, and Alfric, and yeah, you guys. So Mirrodin, you see this because of your dark vision, but you see this big old jumble of kelp. It's not freely moving like the rest of it is. It's more like, it almost looks like it's packed together. Oh no, my song. Sorry.
That kelp's not freely moving. It's almost like it's packed together.
Oh. Oh dear. Damn you, Mr. DJ. Perfect. For Alfric and for Cassius, you guys accidentally bump into this thing. And Mirrodin, as you're watching them accidentally bump into this thing, you see it kind of like bob, and then bob back up. And as you're looking at it more closely, now that it's kind of caught your eye, and like it almost looks as if this kelp was kind of fixated to an object, you notice that the top of it, which is about 3 feet above you, is open. But Cassius and Alfric, as you guys kind of bump into it, you're like, shit, why didn't anyone tell me that there was a rock in front of us?
I'm gonna start feeling up the rock.
That's kelp.
Okay. How high do you go on the kelp?
I just lead Alfred to the opening.
Okay. So you guys go up, and the rest of the kelp forest is a lot taller than this thing. And Mirrodin, as you grab his wrist and you kind of swim up just to see what's going on, you see a body inside of this kelp. But the thing about this body is it's human, but there's like a bubble around his nose and his mouth. His eyes are wide open but rolled into the back of his head, and his skin resembles that of which a human that's been probably underwater for weeks. So it's like very pruny, very pale.
All right, Alfred, if you feel anything that feels like flesh, that is to be expected. There is a dead body here, I think.
Gross. Why is there a dead body here?
Probably because it's been here for weeks.
Gross.
As you finish your sentence, it turns its head towards you.
What's that sound?
That would be the dead body.
Get me the hell out of here.
Okay.
Do I hear this?
Yeah, you all start to hear this, and Donovan
We're
turns
gonna start
around.
swimming away.
Donovan turns around and goes, "What the hell are you doing?"
Dead body, help. Dead body in the kelp.
As you guys get away from the kelp, the sighing stops. And
What was in there?
Yes, what was that?
A bloated corpse? That was alive?
It looks
But
to be a human that had been underwater for quite some time. They had this strange bubble around the nose and mouth. And then it started sighing at us.
Well,
Directly at us, too.
can anyone cast a small light on it real quick?
I don't think that's a good idea. It'll definitely give away our position.
Well, could it be one of the people we're looking for? Could it be Cyrene or Alfred? Or no, it wouldn't be that.
Mirrodin definitely noticed it was neither of them.
Okay, just double checking.
I mean, it could have been Lacan.
Or I say Alfred.
I guess in theory, yes.
I
You have
meant
no
Lacan.
idea what he looks like.
Oh, I meant Lacan, but yeah.
But you also notice that he was wearing sailor garb, much like the pirates, what they were wearing. Very similar, like very loose-fitting clothing. The colors were obviously different. They were like a blue sash and then a white undershirt and stuff like that.
Well,
Let's continue,
wow.
please.
Yeah, why is there zombie bodies underwater?
Well, if I had to pinpoint it after what you guys just saw and what we all heard, more than likely they're kind of used as a alarm of sorts. If you disturb them, they probably start to scream, and then people come and check it out to see what's going on. In all honesty, it's barbaric but clever. But then that would mean that they have ways of either preserving the bodies into a zombie-like state, or they have a way of raising the dead.
Well, let's not stay here too long. Let's get out of here.
Okay.
Yes, let's move on.
So you guys have been swimming for about 20 minutes now, and for those of you that don't have dark vision, you can finally start seeing a sort of bright light start to peer its way through the kelp. It's like this very, very like cool blue glow that's coming from very far off, probably a quarter of a mile away, but it's bright enough to where it's starting to be seen, but it's not illuminating this area by any means. There.
What is that?
I've got to say that's where they're at. And in all honesty, I have no idea what it is, but we're about to find out. Just a little further, everyone. Everyone go ahead and give me another stealth check, please. Regular roll. Regular roll. Regular roll. Okay. So as you guys are swimming, there's a couple times where Cassius almost bumps into one of those bundles of kelp, and then someone that's able to see is able to sort of grab him and move him to the side. And he kind of, like, you see him look back and go, "What?" And he's like, "Another one of those body things." And he's like, "Oh shit." And you guys watch Zuka. He's almost not moving a muscle, and he's just floating forward like an elephant missile. It's really cool looking. And you look underneath his belly, and you see little air bubbles coming from his trunk as he's using it to propel himself forward without moving a muscle. Almost as if he's done this before. After about 5-10 minutes more of swimming, you guys come on to this sort of this little drop into what looks to be like almost like a underwater valley. And the kelp forest is sitting there, and you guys get to the edge of it, and at this point the light is illuminating to where you can see sort of the general surroundings of it. And a few things you notice is you see a lot more of these little kelp bundles all around this weird looking cobblestone, maybe. You're not really sure what material it is, but it's definitely some sort of handcrafted terrain that's on the middle of this sort of like mountain in the middle of this valley. So the valley is all sand that sort of comes to a point probably about 30 feet in front of you from the kelp forest, and it drops off. And then there's another like platform of rock above where that drop off is, and there's this handmade structure. So as you guys get there, you do see a number of Sahagin that are swimming alongside these reef sharks as they're patrolling. You do see a couple of marrow. For those of you that know what creature you're looking for, which is only 2 of you, you do not see that creature anywhere near. I'll go ahead and show you guys the map. The horses.
Where are
I
we?
can see a lot of things that I'm probably not supposed to be able to see.
Yeah, I see
Same.
everything.
Really?
Supposed to be... Yeah, I see everything.
Yeah.
And you guys just see the whole map?
Well, I mean, it's not like completely lit or anything. But
I see
Oh,
this.
yeah, that's meant to be.
And
That's
this.
glowing. Those things
Oh,
are
okay.
glowing.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
So those things are glowing. You guys are all in this down far left corner. You should be able to see your token. If you do not, let me know, and I will change your lighting. But I went through them all to make sure they were right. And I believe Mirrodin, you should be able to see sort of like the edge of what looks like a rock right here, right?
That is correct.
And
I can see.
Kato should be able to.
I can see this far away.
I can see here.
Okay, perfect.
And here.
Yeah. Does Flick Fam, does your dark vision, is it working?
Yes.
Alright, and then the rest of you don't have dark vision, so you can't see anything else except for, you do see that glowing structure. So at this point, I need to populate those 2 folks that are with you. That's who I forgot. I almost had everything prepped, but I fucked up. God damn it. I'm just joking. Anyway, Donovis looks around, and he turns to you guys and goes, in all honesty, if we were to fight all of this right now, then we would just turn up like the rest of those that are in those kelp coffins, I guess you would call them. But I have a proposal.
Alright, what's the plan?
He looks to Kato, or Keto, my bad, Keto and Mirrodin, and he points towards the middle of the location. And in this location, you see like a small, like a half a sphere of water, like a little water torrent that's sort of spinning almost like a water tornado in a way, but it's very small. And in the middle of that, you see this emerald, like plaque almost. It's like this flat rectangular emerald thing that's just kind of being sort of twisted with this little torrent. And there's 4 of these like Sahagan. They almost look like females, but they're like bloated. So I'll show you what they look like. They're gross. But they're over here and they're waving their hands, making this torrent move around. And he points at that thing, and he looks back at you all and goes, I believe that's what we're after. And I'm gonna go on a stretch here, but I think if you guys go around the side without being seen, I should be able to distract them and get away with Enlaren's help. And you guys can go in there, grab the object, see if you can find your friends, and then get out of there.
Alright, random question. How good are the Sahagins sense of smell?
In all honesty, smell's not really something you can do underwater unless, well, if you were to prick your finger and let out some blood or bleed, then...
Speaking of that, and I hand him a vial of Onkeg blood, could this help you out?
You're quite resourceful.
I do what I can.
And a little strange.
Yeah.
In all honesty, this could prove useful. It could draw them to the location, at least some of them. Maybe what you could do, he looks to Zuka, although Zuka can't see him. Your name is Zuka, correct?
Zuka's like, I don't know who I'm talking to, and he's like looking around.
Yeah. Sorry, it's Donfus. You're good with that crossbow, yeah?
I mean, yeah, but in this condition, I don't know.
How about this? Alfric, do you have more of these vials? Maybe, at least blood?
I got a few I can spare you.
What we could probably do is with the sandy pots, we could possibly put a few of the vials, and Zuka would be able to hit them with the crossbow, maybe if someone were to help him aim with these darkened conditions. And from there, when they explode, obviously they'll smell it and they'll go and investigate.
Okay, I had 3 vials of Onkeg blood. I give him 2, and I give him 1 vial of the Oni blood.
Okay, so you give him all 4 of those vials? You give him 4 vials total, right?
3. 3. 2
3
of Onkeg and 1 Oni.
Okay, cool. So he gives 1 to Keto. He takes 1 for himself, and then he gives the other 1 to Enlaren. And he goes, alright, spread these out probably about 90 feet apart on the perimeter. And then one by one we can smash them open, hope that we draw some of them away, and then I will do whatever I can to distract them to another location. Sound good?
Yeah, it's all up to you guys. I can't see shit.
Exactly. Now, with y'all that can't see, like, you do see, like, silhouettes of sharks and Sahagan swim by periodically from the glow, but you can't see any, like, details about them. Occasionally you do see some of the marrow, like, float in and out of the location. They're definitely keeping guard of some... whatever those things are. You look at them and it almost looks like it's glass, but it looks like it's like you could step through it, almost as if the water's enchanted in a way. So if Kato is cool with taking a vial and placing it somewhere, roll me a stealth check.
Okay.
And then I'll roll stealth check for these other 2. Succeed and succeed. Good. So when Lauren and Donvis, as they're leaving the area, they turn back and they go, "I would swim around that way," and he points this location, and then be ready to swoop in.
So I'm going with them, right, Brady?
Yeah, you're going with the group, not with these guys. They're going to hit.
Oh.
So essentially,
got
they
it.
want you to put a vial of blood kind of where you guys entered. They're going to put a vial of blood over here, and then another one over here. They're going to have Zuka, or one of you guys, you could cast a spell maybe to pop it. But yeah, that's essentially their plan.
Perfect.
And you guys are off screen when you swim away from that and swim to the side. But we'll just keep your tokens there for now. But as they get out of range, you don't hear or see anything different as the sharks are starting to swim. And then after probably 30 seconds, there's movement on this side, and it darts over that way as a few Sahagin and sharks swim very quickly to go investigate what's going on. After another few moments, another jolt of Sahagin and reef sharks swim to go behind, or go in this direction, leaving this side a little open in terms of defenses. What do you guys do?
Do we see the silhouette? Like, can we see the silhouette? With
Yeah,
the dark
you would see
vision,
the
or-
silhouettes all like dash in that direction, like really quickly. Like suddenly,
It
like
looks like
all was well, and then suddenly they just dart away.
I guess that's our cue.
It appears so.
Zuka, go ahead and roll a crossbow attack with disadvantage, please, as somebody comes up behind you that can actually see, and they kind of help you aim. I'll actually just a straight roll. That's the help action.
I'll come up behind him and help him aim, and then just shoot whatever it is I'm shooting
Okay.
with Eldritch Blast.
Oh dear. Okay, go ahead and cast your Eldritch Blast. As you fire, it almost looks as if the bolt wasn't properly embedded. So it fires forward, and then you see the bolt just like start to float upward a little bit. And Zuka like sits there, and he acts as if everything went fine because he can't see anything. But your Eldritch Blast, the first one hits, and the second one just makes sure that it kind of disperses it. And then more of the Sahagin and reef sharks swim to that location very quickly. Yeah, that's true. And at that point, you notice the two merfolk start to swim forward, and then they stop right here, and you can hear Donovis he puts his staff onto onto the floor of this location. Actually, can you guys even see him?
No.
No.
Nope.
Yeah, you probably don't see him. You would see his silhouette over there and be like, what the hell is he doing? And he goes over there. Excuse me, Sahagin, Marrow. Might I have a word, please? I come not for harm, but for parley. And you see the Marrow dart very quickly over here. And you hear them speaking in a language that I don't believe anyone knows. And I'm about to find out. Did anyone see the message that I just sent?
Nope.
Nope.
Well, the description been the message.
Nope.
No.
Perfect. So you hear them speaking, and then you hear Donovis speak in that same language back to them. And
Could we
hear them exchanging words, and then all of a sudden you can hear his female companion go, "When did you learn to speak that?" And he looks to her and says, "I'm sorry, but Cyrene means too much to me." And you see her silhouette be pushed forward and the marrow grab her. And then one of the other marrows go over here, grab one of those kelp things, and bring it over to him.
Do we see this happen or no?
You would see the one marrow as he's moving through the light. You would see Cyrene's body.
And we don't hear him.
Yeah, you don't
we
hear
move?
exactly what they're saying, but he hands over Cyrene's body, and you can hear the girl. She's starting to scream, "You bastard! How dare you betray me!" And then you see the marrow cover up her mouth and speak something in that language again.
Hey, shouldn't we be moving forward during this destruction?
Yeah, let's go.
So yeah, you guys can move onto the side, go up a little bit. And what you see the marrow sort of wrestling this merfolk. And what they do is they get over towards this little circle thing. It reaches in and grabs that emerald tablet and sort of tosses it aside to where it starts floating this way. And it's floating, like, think of how, like, in space when they throw something and it just keeps floating, like, on and on. And it is floating in y'all's direction. So someone with dark vision, roll a sleight of hand to catch it, or roll a stealth check to catch it stealthily.
Okay.
Normal?
Yeah, normal.
Okay.
Alright, and you watch Keto sort of swim up, grab it, and it's this sort of like, it's like this emerald plaque that has some sort of ancient writing engraved in it, and as all of you that are able to see look at it, you're kind of like, what the fuck is this? But Keto, you definitely know that this is your objective, this is what you came
Oops,
for.
wrong one.
So you put it into your bag and tell everyone, all right, I got what we needed.
I was gonna try to follow behind. So like, where did we go? Like, because I can't see anything with that token.
Let me pull all of you guys closer, I guess. So at this point, the marrow puts that woman in the tablet's place, and you start to hear the women chant now instead of just waving their arms. And the marrow goes back over and they start talking in that language. And he says, "If you require more," and you see his silhouette point in your direction. "They're over there."
Fuck.
I need everyone to roll initiative, please.
Oh, ain't that a bitch?
Oh yeah, this is gonna be great.
Looks like I don't have the macro for my new character. Give me.
You
Hold
should
on,
be able to just roll it.
Yeah. No, just roll it from the character sheet. All right.
Yeah. I can update it.
I don't have mine either.
Also, right before combat started, Cyrene said I see another body. I was gonna try to ask, like, what do you see?
Armor.
Cyrene shouldn't be able to speak right now.
No, well, I can
know,
mind that.
it was the wrong character.
Yeah, it meant Keto.
Okay.
Keto said it.
Yeah, so from this direction, you guys do, I would say that there's a glint right here.
Well, I can see a body. I can see armor. I don't know who it is, but...
Where?
Yeah, right here.
Yo, that's straight up.
I mean, I'm not gonna say anything. I can actually see myself.
Oh, can you?
But yeah, I'm not gonna.
Oh, whoops.
I'm relying on everyone else to do the work for me. But yeah, I could see myself the whole time.
Yeah, I didn't honestly think of that. So let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I believe that's all of you. Roll his initiative. His initiative. I'll roll their initiative. Okay. So, let's see. So as he points in y'all's direction, the Marrow do look over there, but they don't see anything. So then they turn back. You see their silhouettes look towards your direction. They can't see anything, so they turn back to him and start speaking again. And you hear him in common say, "Oh, trust me." At this point, as combat begins and those women start to chant, that torrent becomes a complete sphere, and you can no longer hear the screams of that merfolk woman. Flick Fam, top of the round, what do you do?
Going in sneakily, trying to go.
Oh God.
Gotta do it. Where is he? 35? Right there. Kinda hugging this rock.
Okay.
So it's like right there.
Okay, so like hugging the side of it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm gonna use my bonus to hide.
Okay, go ahead and roll stealth. Alright, cool. Anything else?
Nope, that's it for now.
Alright, Zuka, your turn. You see the Marrow. I'm pretty sure you can see the outline of these guys. You hear the voice of the gentleman right here. You also see like the silhouette of a kelp bag that's sort of glinting every now and then as it sways back and forth.
So even though I can't see it, I can see it.
Yeah, I'm saying that you can like essentially the silhouette, you see it, and as you're looking at it every now and then the light hits it just right to where it kind of shines. And none of the other ones are doing that, so do with that what you will.
Yeah, I can't see in front of me, so I'm not gonna do anything.
You're not gonna do anything at all?
Yeah, I can't see. Do y'all see what's going on? That's what I'm using to see, or that's what I'm saying as my term, because I have no idea what's going on.
I tell him just shoot things as far as you can to the northeast, right? Are we
Yep.
like, okay, yeah, northeast.
And yeah, I mean you can see it enough to where you can shoot it without disadvantage. Like you see the outline of the Marrow, and I believe it's in your range. Yeah, it's in your range perfectly. Okay.
I'll shoot towards that silhouette then.
Alright, so you pop off one of your crossbow bolts, and it embeds into the side of this the Marrow, and you can hear it scream out, "Akakukacha!" If you want to move, you can.
Alright, I'm gonna try and, I guess, move a little bit towards that little glint you were talking about.
Okay.
I'm gonna like hug whatever I can in doing so.
Alright.
Just to clarify, we are allowed to have that free action per round to say something.
Yep.
Hey, real quick, Brady, is this a wall?
No, it's not a wall, it's underneath you. But you can swim under it to kind of like try to make it to where people can't see you. But you can't take the hide action like a rogue can. So you would just have to hope that they kind of forget you're there.
Okay, so I'm gonna follow this for like, I guess, 10 more feet.
Okay, yeah, you would
then
sit there
do-
and sort of crawl alongside it, easy enough.
Yeah, and then do what you just said, and just hide behind it.
Okay. Alfric, your turn.
Well, I say, well, they know we're here now. Can anyone cast light?
I'll cast slow.
Okay.
I'll say out loud. Can't cast light.
So since you can pick a spot, let me get you the radius thing. Where'd I
40
put
feet.
that thing?
I was just gonna put it in the center of that thing over there, so it touches. Yeah. 40, is that 40 feet?
I believe so.
Okay. I want to
No,
touch
it's
that.
20 feet actually.
Yeah.
Is slow 40, right?
Yeah, 40-foot cube.
Whoa.
I want to put it kind of like the corner of it, like right here.
Like that corner?
Like this corner.
Like this?
Yeah, kind of. Yeah, basically. But yeah, put this corner. No, other way, down towards us.
Down towards you?
Yeah,
So
going
like
the opposite direction. Down a little more. I guess I have to be able to see the 6 creatures, don't I?
Pretty sure. No, you just gotta be able to see the 40-foot cube and then 6 creatures that you see.
Yeah, I can only see these guys right here, and I have no idea if there's anything here. But
Yeah,
I'd like
so
to
you actually
just,
have to see. Yeah, you do have to see them in order to.
I'll just get these 5 guys then,
Alright, cool.
and then
Well, you see 6 of them.
Well,
You should see 6.
Yeah, you see 6 right there.
I see this. I see
The 4 people in the middle,
this guy.
and then the
this
2.
Yeah, the 2 Mara.
Yeah, the 2.
Is there another one of these guys?
Nope.
I only see these bodies.
Yeah, you only see those 2 dudes, you see some of the bodies hanging out, and then you see those 4.
Yeah.
Other than that, you don't see anything that looks like an enemy.
I just see this big blue thing, and that's it.
Yeah.
No, I don't see another one. I only see 5 enemies. So.
Oh, you do? Well, okay.
Yeah.
You should be
You
able
can't
to
see
see.
this one? Yeah.
No, I see nothing there.
Interesting.
That's weird.
What about the ones up here?
I know what he should be able to see.
Okay.
So I'll
Got
just
it.
roll for them.
Yeah, I don't see anything. I only see these 5.
That's okay.
But yeah.
But there's 6 of them that you'd be able to
okay.
hit with it. So your wisdom save is 16.
Spell save 16, yes.
Alright. So that one starts chanting a little slower. This one starts chanting a little slower. That one's fine. That one's
Okay,
fine.
I refreshed the page now. I see the 6 guy now.
Okay. This one is fine. And this one failed. Cool.
And then I guess I'll swim like this direction. I don't really know where I'm going.
That's fine. It's darkness. Charlie Murphy.
I ask Mirrodin, can't see, help. Then I end my turn.
Okay. Cassius, your turn.
No, you did say, what are those things called that they're in? That all the
The gentleman called them a kelp coffin.
kelp coffin. You did say
Yeah, one of them
the kelp was glinting.
Yep.
And
so even though you as a player can actually see where your body's located, your character would also see that and probably be like,
well,
oh,
yeah.
shiny.
Well, yeah, Keto said she could see plate over there and that one's shining. So I'm not metagaming, so I am going to swim to that kelp. And I'm going to use my... Let's see, I'm going to use my bonus action to dash with superior ability.
So once you get over there, you do in fact see, as you sort of feel the helmet and stuff like that, it feels an awful lot like it's a very strange plate design, and you remember vaguely exactly what Lacan was learning under a specific somebody, and this feels a lot like that. So you would.
Am I able to grab it?
Yeah, you can use your action to cut the kelp.
Alright. I'm gonna cut the kelp and then I'm gonna...
Let's see, how much movement did you use to get over there? 35?
That was 35, so let's see, 25 would put me
because
back
you're
up to
underwater,
here.
you don't have a disadvantage, or you don't have to use 2 feet of movement to carry something underwater. So, as you get closer, Mirrodin, you definitely see the body at this point in time, and you know exactly who it is.
Noted.
Is that all for Cassius?
Yeah.
Alright, Keto.
Sweet! I'm gonna cast Fireball right here.
Okay. Fire it up. Dex save. What is your DC for that character? Do you know? 14. And they have disadvantage if they're slowed, or is it a -2 for slow? Oh, it's a -2 penalty. Okay. So let's see. This one fails. And you notice that as it explodes, like you see the fire as it streaks across the water. And as it does, you see a lot more of these kelp coffins sort of light up. You also see the marrow look directly at where it was cast, giving off your position. And as it explodes in that spot, it explodes, but you notice the fire doesn't really reach that far, and it becomes like this hot sort of steam, and then it instantly bubbles and starts heading towards the top. It doesn't seem like it was as effective as it would be on land, but it still did something.
Okay.
I just got to take the damage off of these dudes and make their save. There's a lot of them. This one makes it. You notice the one creature so far definitely is harmed by the steam, and the other one looks unscathed. That one makes it, I believe, 20 feet. Yeah, would hit these 2 guys too.
Mm-hmm.
He failed. And he succeeded. Cool. Alright, so with that, anything else you want to move or anything?
Yeah, I'm gonna swim down here where Fig Flam kind of is.
Okay.
But like hidden. And that is the end of my turn.
Okay. At this point, the gentleman has Cyrene in hand, and he starts to swim away out of sight. But I think you guys saw my thing, so I'm going to move him to a different location. Mirrodin, your turn.
Okay. So, can you describe to me what kind of weird bubble-ass bullshit she's in?
Yeah, so when you first saw it, what it looked like, think of what a tornado looks like. It looked like the opening of it at the very top, but water. And then as these women, or as these Sahagin started to chant and stuff, it enclosed, and now it's just a complete like torrent of water. So it looks like a waterfall, but in a spherical way, and it just keeps on rushing in various directions. And you can see a silhouette. You can see a silhouette like banging on the side, obviously trying to escape, but is unable to.
Okay, I'm gonna do the stupidest thing I've ever tried to do.
Ooh! Fun! New level!
I'm gonna swim right there.
Okay.
I'm going to use my bonus action to teleport to this spot that I can see right here.
Okay. And you can't see inside of the bubble, but you can see the outside of it.
Well, either this is going to succeed, and I'm going to try to reach my hand all up in there and try to grab her in the dimension door somewhere in the vicinity of 100 feet to the southwest.
Okay. Go ahead and roll me a. I'd say to get past the torrent, just roll me a straight strength check.
Okay.
Okay. So you guys watch Mirrodin as he swims up and then teleports, and he takes his hand, and as he hits the water, he accidentally grabs a bit of the torrent, and gets sort of thrown right over there. As the water, like with his webbing, it catches him and forces him over the other side of these women as they're chanting. They have their eyes closed as they're doing this, so they don't notice you. One of them kind of perks up and hears that you're there, but it doesn't care. It's in the middle of something.
Interesting. Let's
roll perception for me real quick with your location.
Okay. What kind of roll is that?
Perception check?
What? Yeah. What kind of roll is it? Is it advantage, disadvantage?
Oh, just regular.
A regular roll. Gotcha.
You notice this start to shimmer.
Okay.
Up north, this little like water thingy, it starts to shimmer a little bit.
That's notable. I'm going to take a dodge action.
Okay. Alright, so these women continue to chant. Two of them are chanting a little slower than the other two, and they're also waving their arms a little slower. Let's see, actually, can they do the thing? No. Yeah, they continue chanting. With that is the Marrow's turn. Let me roll a... I'm gonna roll a perception check on this one. He does not notice that Mirrodin is over there. So this one's going to swim. And then the other one, oh, he gets another 10. The other one's going to park right here, backing away just a little bit, see what's going on. Now, at the top of the round, Mirrodin, that shimmer you see, you start to see a tentacle flop out of it and pull itself forward.
Gross.
Another tentacle. You see your old pal as he emerges from that location with his fish hook in hand, and he peers around looking. He looks at the ritual, and then he looks to see you there, and you see a grin on his face. Flick Fam, your turn.
Alright. I'm gonna swim right up to the back corner of this guy using 25 feet.
Alright.
Take an attack on this guy. With my dagger.
Okay. Let's see. That will hit for sure.
Oh, hold on.
And yeah,
Yeah.
I'll give you the sneak attack, because he's busy looking at the other way, and your stealth was better than his initial perception, so.
Well, as long as I'm the only one within 5 feet of it.
Oh yeah, you're a swashbuckler. Yeah, so you're good in that fact. So yeah, total of 13 damage as you guys watch this little brownie come up and slice once on its back. You can see a little bit of blood trickle.
And then I'm going to use my last 20 feet of movement to swim up here.
Okay. And then neat swashbuckler thing. He can't attack you.
That's my turn.
Alright, Zuko.
Oh, actually, I have a bonus. What am I doing? I'm a rogue. I'm gonna bonus dash and use my last 35 feet to go, I guess, here.
Okay. Swim, little one. Alright, Zuko, you're up. Let me look at what you can see. You can see the one marrow that's right here. Alright. And that one is slowed, so it does hit. For 9. Let's see. On hit, they're injected with a drug. They take 21 necrotic damage the next time they take piercing. Oh, and the next time. So a total of 30 damage. So you kill that motherfucker. So you guys watch Zuka take out this special little vial from his pocket. Those of you that can actually see him, which would only be Keto. You see him take this vial, and it's able to form right at the tip of the bolt. Something he's specially formulated. He takes his hand crossbow, aims, and pulls the trigger. And as it embeds itself, you can hear like a little shattering sound as it hits the flesh of this creature. And you watch as it pierces the heart, and it sort of grabs, and it just kind of floats lifelessly. Like almost instantly dying, as if his heart exploded. Anything else from Zuka?
No. I'm just gonna move a little bit. Still following along this thing, I guess.
Okay. Alfred. You're muted, by the way.
Well, I'm gonna move forward 5 feet, and then I'm gonna cast Holy Dead on this dude right here.
Okay. Wisdom save, she fails, taking 17 necrotic damage.
And I end my turn.
Alright. Cassius, your turn. You have your Lacan in hand.
Now, if I were to, like, is he gonna float in place, or
you don't
would
know.
I need to, like, how close are we to, like, the ground?
So, where you're at, there's a drop, and it goes, you know there's a drop right there. You have no idea how far it goes. You're 10 feet away from, like, the edge of the little cliff thing that kind of goes down until that drop.
Well, that puts me in a thought process bind at the moment. I'm going to... I do have rope on me, though, so... I'm going to actually take the rope and... I'm going to tie...
Okay.
Lacan... Now, was there any ground we passed? So, as I swam to this area, like, did we...
Yeah, right now you know you're kind of free floating. There's this little ledge right here, and then over here is like a small little like slant, and then it falls into this cliff. So there's a space right over here. If you go 10 feet, you'll be on a spot where you reasonably think that you could put him, and if he were to sink, he would just sit there.
What about towards the ledge towards them? You said there was a ledge right here, roughly.
Yeah, there is, and that is 10 feet.
Alright, is there any... I'm gonna swim 10 feet that way. Does it look like I can...
Yeah, it looks like if you can like put him there and he'll kind of just like stay there.
Is there any... Well, I'm gonna tie him to my lance. I'm actually gonna try to shove the lance into the ground as well.
Okay. So I'll say it'll be your action to tie him to the lance, and then free action to try to plunge it into like the rock. Go ahead and roll a strength check for me. Yeah, easy enough. You find a little, as you're plunging your lance down, you end up finding a little like crevice, and you stick it in there to where it gets a couple inches deep, and you let go of it and kind of like just feel the sides to see if he moves too much, and he doesn't move at all.
Alright. I should still have... I think that was 10 movement.
Correct.
So I'm gonna use my bonus action to dash over here. I'll go ahead and burn my action surge.
You don't have action surge.
Yeah, you're right. Never mind. I don't know why I even still had it there. I'll get rid of that off that sheet. Sorry about that. I will. In that case, I'll actually just. I'll move in front of the con, but I'll end my turn right there.
Cool. Keto.
I'm going to shoot another fireball, like, here.
Okay. Alright, so same thing, you watch as it streaks through and it leaves like this trail of bubbles behind it as the heat converts the water to steam, and then it turns into bubbles as it carries up. And when it explodes, it does the same thing. It's like maybe a couple inches of actual flame through the explosion, and then the rest looks like it's just hot steam blasting out. This one fails its save, but it's just not as effective as you would hope it would be. This one makes it save. This one's -2, fails. And then this one dies. Alright. Do you want to move?
Yep, I'm going to swim over here.
Cool. Alright, that's the end of your turn?
Yep.
Okay. Let's see, what do I want our friend fellow to do? So he swims, he darts over, sort of floating above these two Sahagin as they're doing their thing, and he's gonna go ahead and attack Muradin with 2 tentacle attacks. One of them hits for a 15, and the other for a 17. And you are currently grappled and restrained. Let me see, how much did he move there? 40 feet? With you restrained, he moves the rest of his movement right here. Well, not the rest of it, but he gets right there, releases you, and then heads over to Flig Fam with the rest of his movement. as your friend is making moves, all of a sudden from behind you guys can hear what sounds like conch shells. And you can't see too much, but you start to see the flashing of steel on steel. And you can hear the war cry of merfolk. And with that, we'll go ahead and end his turn.
Do we see anything in that direction, or we just hear it?
You just hear it. You hear the war horns, and then as you kind of look over, because there's not enough light to get over in that direction, you just see the occasional like sparks as steel hits steel and stuff like that, but you have no idea what the hell is going on over there. With that, it is Mirrodin's turn.
Alright, round 2, motherfucker. Gonna try it again.
Alright. So same thing, you go in and you try to grab it, and this time you're kind of prepared. Oh, you're not behind her. You're kind of prepared for it, so it just pulls you to the other side, but you sort of use your other hand to sort of twist yourself, and you kick your feet to where you're standing right next to it, but you just weren't able to get deep into that torrent. It's really fast. Perception check for me, Mirrodin, as you look into the orb. The movement has stopped.
Okay, so she's probably dead. Or unconscious. Alright, I'm going to use my last, I guess. Does it count as an action, Brady? Or is it count
because
as
it failed, I'll count it as the free action. If it were to succeed, it would be your action to grab her. But since it failed, we'll say that it's the free action.
Alright. We're going to move over here, first of all. Cast Eldritch Blast on this thing.
Alright.
Because fuck it.
Yeah. So let's see. Hit and hit for a total of 19 damage.
That's it.
Okay, whoops. Alright, one of the priestess stops at a time to do a thing. I just gotta, it takes forever for the sheets to load because I've got so much shit. I'm gonna go through and start deleting some of these commoners. How many priestess do I have? 3 left? Only one of them's dead?
Yeah.
You watch as each of the priestess kind of stop for just a moment of their chanting, and they cast a spell. And you notice that some of the wounds of these priestess start to heal. Then, after one of them's done with their casting of the spell, they begin doing their voodoo bullshit, and then another one starts to cast the spell, and they kind of take turns doing this, and then they go back to doing their thing. That'll be the end of their turn. It is the Marrow's turn. He can see everything. He's gonna swim right here to where he's still in your threat range, and he can hit Alfric. And Alfric, he is going to hit you with a harpoon attack, which crits.
Oh.
And then
Okay.
he's going to pull you a little closer to him and bite down, which is a 20 to hit.
Can I use a reaction?
Yeah.
Can I shield?
Yep.
I'm gonna do that.
Alright, so the second the bite doesn't connect, because as he sticks you in the left shoulder with the harpoon and brings you forward, you take your right hand and you're able to do the...
Oh, I forgot. I need to put major armor.
Yeah.
It was on before, but yeah. So my AC was 17 before.
Yeah. So, and then as he brings you closer and bites down, the arcane energy is able to shield you from his rotted teeth. But you do take a total of 21 piercing damage, and I need a Constitution saving throw of
Okay, so
10.
I'm at 27. And I need Constitution saving throw to keep my slow up.
I would rule that with Dimension Door you have to physically be touching them though. Otherwise you could be on the other side of a wall, and how are you Dimension Dooring them with you if they're still in, you know what I mean?
I mean, I did see her silhouette, so...
Yeah, but you have to touch her for sure.
Mine's-
Keep your concentration for slow.
Am I exhausted?
You were, but you slept it off, so
Okay,
take it away.
take that away. I guess that's, yeah.
Okay. At the top of the round, Mirrodin, as you're looking at that silhouette, you notice the body start to like sort of shake violently, and a tentacle sprouts. Another tentacle sprouts. Another sprouts. Flick Flam, your turn.
Gonna bonus action disengage.
Alright.
I'm gonna swim up to this one. And I'm gonna try to smack it. Or cut it, rather.
Alright, that'll hit for a total of 17.
And then I'm going to use Blade Flourish. Expending a use of Bardic Inspiration to deal that much more damage.
Alright.
And then push it 5 feet away from me.
Okay.
Into the whirlpool.
Alright. So you push it forward and it gets brought into this torrent and it gets smacked onto the other side. So you definitely you throw it for a loop, it's sitting there chanting, and all of a sudden it gets smacked in the back of the head, falls forward, this torrent grabs her by the chin and slams her. She'll take an additional 4 damage as her face hits the ground. She definitely wasn't prepared to be moved into that thing, but she ultimately sort of shakes it off, throws a glance at you, and then continues chanting.
Okay, and that was 20 movement, so I have 25 more to go.
I think Mirrodin shouted out at you.
He did?
He did. He typed it in chat so that he wouldn't go over your turn, but he yelled for you to come to him so that you guys can leave.
Alright. I'm gonna use my last 25 to get here.
That's not where Mirrodin is, just so you know.
Where is he?
Can you not see me?
He should be able
Oh.
to see you. He's right here.
Oh.
Yeah,
Sure.
he's right here.
Yeah, okay. Then I go from... Where was I?
Yeah, you got him.
Here? Yeah. Actually, I probably want to be on this side of him. There we go. Now I'm done.
Okay. Zuka, your turn.
So real quick, what can I see?
You can see. Let me look. You see the 3 priestess. You see your friend Mirrodin Fligflam, and you see this creature that had killed your friends just a couple hours ago.
Okay, and would my firebomb be able to work underwater, or
It would be, since it's a thrown weapon. Let me look. I think technically thrown weapons are doable underwater, but I'll double check real fast. Any weapon with a thrown property used as a ranged attack. So yeah, I'll allow it. Even though it's kind of weird to throw a flask, but I guess you would throw it just right to where it would kind of like just propel.
Yeah, I get you. Because I was gonna say, I think my brew launcher ability allows me to do it anyway.
Okay, cool.
But yeah. So give me
You
just a
are
second.
within 50 and 45 feet of those two, and 50 feet of the other one, and then 75 feet of the creature from earlier.
Okay.
While we're waiting, can we confirm if my stream is online or not? It's a 20-foot range for the blast radius, or is it 10 feet? Regardless, if you're trying to hit all 3 priestess, you can, and you'll also hit Fligflam.
It's 10 foot, if
Okay.
I'm not mistaken.
Let me get my radius tool out actually before I say that.
You're live, Brady.
Am I?
Mm-hmm.
Neat. Wasn't sure if it was actually working or not. Let's see if you would be able to arc this in a... Oh yeah, you can arc it in a way to where it will not hit Fligflam because of how tiny she is. And it's a dex save. This one fails. And as your firebomb explodes, it's a lot like how that fireball that Keto keeps doing. It sort of explodes and there's like a flash of fire, and then it turns into like this, it looks like just really hot steam, and then it bubbles and heads towards the surface. Even though it's hitting like all the way on some of these creatures, it doesn't seem like it's doing the amount of damage that it probably should. Alright. Anything else?
No, I'm gonna say where I'm at.
Okay. Alfred.
Okay, so there is a giant creature in front of me attacking me.
Yep, and you see its silhouette, and yeah, it stabbed you with its harpoon. It was quite painful.
So if I moved here, would that provoke an opportunity attack? No, because it's only when I move
Because
away.
you're still within its range,
Yeah.
so you're fine.
Can I see it better now?
Can you see it
Or-
better? Yeah. You can see
Okay.
it. You should, in theory, be able to see it on both of those locations, but...
I'm gonna do this.
Okay. As an action, choose that creature. If the target can see or hear you, a wisdom save. And he got a natural 1. So
Okay.
as this creature is looking you dead in the eye, you have this sort of Cheshire cat thing going on, and then you sort of whisper a word to it, and then all of a sudden its eyes roll in the back of its head, and it starts to sort of bob back and forth from side to side, almost as if it's in a stasis.
Okay. So it says it will stay this way unless I move, 5 feet away, other than like you can hear me or see me. So I'm gonna just move on this side of it.
Okay, yeah.
And
Easy enough, you swim to the side of them.
Yeah, if I attack it, it stops doing this, right? What does it not say?
Because it says it's charmed, and charm usually ends
it's
if
charmed.
you heard it.
I'm gonna scream to everybody, no one attack this one. I've been incapacitated. And then I end my turn.
Okay. Cassius, your turn.
Alright, well, hearing Alfric say that, I'm gonna swim over here. Let's see. It's 35 feet, I'll have to use my bonus. I'm gonna use my war spear and attack the one that's next to me.
Alright. That'll hit it, and that will be enough to kill it. As you stab her through the heart from the back, her hands are up in the middle of her chanting, and you watch as her arms kind of just like float down to her side very slowly as she goes lifeless.
I need to check a stat on this weapon real quick, I forgot. Pretty sure, blah blah. Okay, alright. I'm going to move 5 feet and then attack the next one up.
Okay. That'll hit for 5.
And then I'm going to use my remaining movement and swim back.
How much movement do you get?
It's well, I use my bonus action to dash, so I get 60.
Yeah. Okay, gotcha. That's right. Don't you yet? Hold on. I'll look at it later, but I'm almost certain you can only do that if you're mounted. But
No, it's both. It's both, whether I do it or if I'm on the mount.
oh, okay. Cool. End your turn?
Yes.
Alright, Kato, your turn. Or Keto. Whoops.
You'll get it eventually.
Hopefully I don't have to get it.
We'll see. It's been relatively effective so far, so I think I'm just gonna do another fireball. And I'm gonna do it at the big mean thing with the tentacles.
Okay. Okay, so as it explodes like right in his face, and you watch this torrent of water whisk past him, and as the bubbles clear, he looks unscathed.
Fuck. Alright, well I'm just gonna stay where I'm at then. Call it good.
Okay. Let's see. This creature. It's gonna move over here and attack Flick Flam once with its tentacle. He misses. He'll take his second swing with his tentacle and he'll hit. You take 17 bludgeoning damage.
I will say, I don't know, my token didn't update its max HP, but...
Did it not?
No.
That's weird. What is your max HP? I'll change it right now.
46.
46. And there. Cool. Updated.
I took how much?
17.
8.
And it has you grappled and restrained, which it will use some of its movement to drop you off over here. And then it will go back, getting in between priestess and another thing, and it casts a glance at all the enemies around, and it starts to chuckle. You guys see the clashing of swords and sparks flying over here, but then you also see what looks to be merfolk as they swim forward. You can hear them say, "Everyone needs to leave now!" And they will end their turn. Mirrodin, your turn.
Alright. I'm just gonna grab Flig Fan. Are we going to leave? I suppose.
I mean, you got 500 feet, and you've seen the whole journey. So if you
Somewhere
to...
that's safe.
Okay.
In this direction.
I would say, like, at the very edge of the kelp forest, you would deem as, you could do from, like, there, and you would feel relatively safe.
Hey, we're consistent.
What is that for?
The dimension door roll.
You have a roll for that? Is it because of your class?
It is.
Okay.
I'm not using a spell slot for this. I'm level 6.
Cool. So yeah, you go ahead and move. And then you end your turn?
Yeah.
What's the 12 do? Is that damage?
That's the temporary HP I gain from getting
yeah.
a 5 on my thing.
Very nice. Okay. I'll move Flig Flam down there for you, but you guys are at the edge of the kelp forest at this point, or anywhere in between there that you want to actually pop out. The priestess, as they move their arms around, one of them, you guys can kind of see turn around to this other creature and go, "He has returned." And as she ends her turn, you guys see that silhouette. Let me do this. That silhouette that's in that torrent. You already see a couple of different tentacles that are floating around, and at this point you see more pop out, and they pop out so rapidly, and then it fills that torrent to where it's just a pitch black ball, but you still see the torrent moving ever faster, and it starts to expand. As it starts to expand, the priestess get out of the way a little bit, and they all start to cackle and laugh, and they all start to essentially chant a name in a different language, but you can still actually everyone except for everyone go ahead and give me a insight check. We'll see if you roll high enough if you're able to actually kind of decipher what they're saying. Let's see. Mirrodin and Keto. Through this language, you know that typically in most languages, there's like a specific way to say like proper nouns, especially names, and you guys hear a word, Dagon.
Okay. Cool.
As that thing starts to expand, all of a sudden the torrent explodes and there's a mass of bubbles. And after the bubbles clear, this creature, a gargantuan sized sort of it's got like 10 different tentacles, maybe more, you can't really tell. It's got these really fucked up teeth. It's got these weird arms that are very lanky, almost as if they're straight bone. And then it's got these red eyeballs all over its body. And as you're looking at them, you look at them and they sort of dart every which way. but eventually they all start to look, and some of them lock eyes with some of you from your various distances, except for Mirrodin and Fligflam, and you hear it sort of scream or let out this cry. And as it does, the priestess and this other creature that's been fucking with you guys for the past few hours, they all start to laugh. Dagon has arrived. Fligflam, your turn.
How far out did we just go?
I would say the kelp forest is about, from your location that you were at, I think it's like 100 feet. So you guys are far away from this.
I mean, I got nothing. I'm just gonna hold for now, I guess. I'm guessing the rest of the
What's your
party is
name?
coming out.
We can make small talk.
What?
You make small talk with Mirrodin. So, how's the family?
My name's Flig Fam. Everyone thinks there's a second L, but there's not.
Zuko, your turn.
So we just saw that go down, right?
Correct.
All right, yeah. Zuka's terrified. Because he's never seen such a thing before. And he heard when somebody said leave, right?
Yeah, you would have heard the what are they called? The merfolk shout that you guys need to leave.
So yeah. So I'm gonna try to dash out. I'm gonna try my best to dash out.
Okay.
Actually, yes. This is what I'm gonna do to dash out.
Yeah, the music for some reason won't play. I think I have to restart something. I don't know. Weird. Oh, there it goes.
All right, so I'm gonna take this and then dash out.
I think this was the wrong song.
I like it though. It's very good mood setting. Makes it sound hopeful.
Yeah, that's not what I want.
Wow.
It is in the wrongest of playlists. But maybe this one will be better. Are you just dashing out, Zuka, like towards the kelp forest? With Jolt Coffee, how many ingredients?
I took 5.
Okay, so you have an extra 50 movement speed. Let's go ahead and swim.
So yeah, I'm gonna just swim as far as I can.
That's better.
Would I just swim off screen or?
I think you would be able to, yeah.
Oh, hi, Zuka.
Yeah, I'll just say that you're able to swim to where Mirrodin and them are. Unless you do anything else, Alfric, your turn.
So I went to the bathroom a lot, and I'm not sure if I didn't overhear what's happening with the Klon's body right now.
Lacan is in the... He's currently tied up to a lance and sort of shoved into this little crack, just waiting to be moved.
Can I grab him?
Yeah.
What would take my action to grab him?
Free action to just sort of like be able to, because you guys are underwater, like things aren't as heavy, so it would be your free action to kind of just grab him and dislodge him, because Cassius didn't do a super big strength roll, so it wasn't like he made a whole new hole in the rock. So he found a nice crevice to where he was just stable.
So I'm gonna grab him, and then I can't Misty Step with him, can I?
Don't think so. Nope.
Okay.
Misty Step is just yourself.
Yeah. This creature here, how are we dealing with, like, when I walk out of the range of my thing? And
pretty sure at the end of your turn, it becomes dehypnotized.
Okay, so it won't get an opportunity attack, right?
Correct.
Okay. So would I be able to grab him and dash away?
No, because on your turns, in order to keep him maintained, you have to use your action. So at the start of your turn, you can drop it now and he'd be able to attack you.
Okay. Well, I'm just going to keep it up, grab Lacan, and then scurry away as far as I can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
Yes, right there.
Yeah, so move yourself and I'll move Lacan with you. Whee! Okay.
And that's it.
And as you move away, you notice the marrow start to slowly come to shake its head and open its eyes, and it takes a look. Let's see. Which way does it look? It looks towards Keto. Cassius, your turn.
Alright, well, I have no knowledge that happened, so I'd be swimming to where I thought Lacan is. Could you... Actually, where was the right of Lacan earlier?
Right there. So you would get right there and see he's gone, and you would see that creature is currently looking at Keto right now, but you see no sign of Lacan.
Well, I'm gonna shout, where is he? Where's Lacan?
Someone took him. One of your friends.
Did you see the wave?
Where we came.
And then, now, since I can use my bonus action to dash, can I still use my action for another dash, or is dash a once per turn?
Nah, you can chain it if you're able to. But it doesn't, so you don't dash and get 60 movement and then dash and get 120. It's the whatever you're...
No, I know it'd be 30, 30, 30. Yeah. So, how much did I have to move? Was it...
I think it was 20... No, it was
20?
20.
Alright, so I just start going south. You know what? Can I roll something just to see if I swim the right direction? Because I don't want to metagame and swim to my character.
Yeah, sure.
I'm gonna swim, where we came from, but what should I roll to see if I go in the right direction or not?
Just roll a perception check with disadvantage. Okay. Yeah, you would be able to swim this way and eventually sort of see the glint.
Well, does that mean I make it to Lacan, or just...
Yeah, because you're dashing and all that.
Yeah, well then at that point I'll look to Alfred. I'll take it from here, and I'll grab my lance with Lacan, and then...
So, as Alfred grabs Lacan and starts swimming away, Like moments later, like 3 seconds later, Cassius swims up and's like, "Hey, I'll take it from here." Grabs him from you and swims, leaving you in his bubbles.
Help! Help!
So you and Lacan.
I mean, I can't. Can I? I don't know if I can. I can.
No,
fly
no.
with
It's all
me.
good.
Yeah.
It's all good.
Yeah, I won't say that you can swim with your dash action with 2 people, just 1. But yeah, you make it to like the edge of the canyon, a little bit up that slope, and then I don't think you got anything else you can do.
Yeah, I'm just swimming. I have 90 feet of movement I can go, and I'm going as far as I can.
All right, Keto, your turn.
All right, I'm dashing out. Just gonna go straight down.
Swim away.
Out.
Okay. Then it comes to this creature, our favorite friend fellow. He swims up right there and is going to make his tentacle attacks. He makes 2 of them. And you guys can kind of see because all this stuff like happens at the same time, essentially in a perfect world. You guys see this creature swim up, sort of backtrack, and with its 2 tentacles, it's able to swat, hit both of these merfolks in the head, and squash their head, making an explosion. You see this gore and bits of skull start to float as it starts to cackle. A feast for my lord. The merfolk, seeing all this shit go down, some of them yell back, "We'll try to cover your escape!" And they pair off and start swimming around, trying to make as distractions. These 2 are actually going to attack that lady. A hit. And man, my roll 20 is so fucking slow. Just 1 hit. Not enough to kill. With that, the other merfolk, they start to swim. Mirrodin, you see them as they're using the dash action. There's one gentleman who's got this great sword on his back, and with him sort of tied onto his, sort of tied up and placed on the back of his seahorse that he's riding on, is the merfolk gentleman, Dunvis. And with one of the other merfolk, they're carrying the body of Cyrene as they come up closer to you guys. Once they get there, they'll be like, "We need to leave while they're distracting him. Use everything you've got to get back to that ship you guys came on." And it is Mirrodin's turn now.
Alright, we're going to leave. Start swimming back to the thing such that we can leave.
Okay. Easy enough. I think all of you are gone from that location. Yeah, the Marrow would see you guys all leaving, but it would go back to help its people. So with that, we'll go ahead and say that combat is end, and I'll paint you guys a little story. As you guys are swimming away, you notice these merfolk like getting very close to this gargantuan creature, and you can see a smile form on its face as its tentacles kind of sit there, and almost like a cat that's in a very playful mood, all of its tentacles are kind of like just swaying back and forth. And then very quickly you see the tentacle swat forward, kind of like a whip. And as it does it, you see one of those merfolk as they're currently with their spears swimming towards it and screaming, "Ah!" And as the tentacle whips, you see its body just stop being propulsed as its head is dislodged like lightning fast, and it just kind of stops. And then the creature swallows the body whole. The other merfolk, as it sees this, gets distracted, and then Dagon comes in with a back swipe of his hand, and he grabs the merfolk, crushing him into the cobblestone, and you guys see a trail of red sort of smoke coming from his hand as he picks it up and he licks it with this really he's got 3 different tongues that are all. Think of Gene Simmons, how his weird uh, spear-like tongue. He's got 3 of those, and he licks his hand as he eats the merfolk. My favorite. With that, he's more preoccupied with all of this stuff that's going on right now instead of you guys. So as you guys are swimming, it only takes you 15 minutes now to get back to the bubble in which you got down here on. And when you get in there, Keto hops on the top, and there's this little wire in there that you start to pull. And you know that when you pull this wire, it goes all the way up the chain, and there's a bell. And when that bell is rang, they know to go ahead and bring you back up. So you start pulling the shit out of it, and you keep pulling, and 20 seconds go by before you feel the thing start to finally float towards the surface. As you guys all gather into the bubble, it takes about 5 minutes for it to finally get up to the surface, and you watch as the water sort of keeps on trickling down from the sides of this thing as you guys are lifted 20 feet in the air, and then you see the bottom of the ship. And as it's lowered enough to where you can drop the ladder and get down. You have with you, let me get their bodies out actually. You do have Cyrene's body, and you do have Lacan's body. All of you, as you're looking at them, go ahead and roll perception checks for me. Damn, I can't drag her.
What? I rolled the same thing pretty much. Damn.
Oh, I've done that before. I rolled 3 of the same thing at once. It's that good old server lag.
Yeah, okay, that happened to you guys too then. That was awful. Alfric and Zuka, you guys can, as you're looking over their bodies, obviously Zuka, you guys would look at Lacan, and you can actually see his chest moving through his armor. You look at Cyrene, and she is breathing. And you kind of sit there and you think, you're like, hold on, first of all, how is Lacan alive right now? Let's see, who was it? Alfric?
Yes.
You look at Cyrene and you see on the back of her neck, you see a symbol that's almost looks natural, as if it's been there all her life. But you've never seen this symbol on her before, and you have no idea what the symbol means. But as you look at it, you can see it pulsing with this dark energy, and then it sort of fades into the skin to where it was never there.
Okay. So we see that they're breathing, right?
Correct.
Okay. Is Drown around?
Yeah, Drown is around.
What is he? What do I see when I look at him?
At Drown?
Yeah, race-wise.
He's a water genasi.
Okay. I go over to him and I ask him, how are they still alive? Do you know anything about this?
He looks and he's like, well, your merfolk friend is alive because, well, she can breathe underwater. So
yeah.
Obviously if they came trying to take her, they didn't kill her outright. As for your
Let's talk
friend,
more later. Can we not heal them?
I don't have healing spells.
Does anyone here have the capability?
I can heal.
I have healing.
Technically.
I use Good Berry and I pop them in their mouths.
Okay.
I'll do healing word.
Yeah, I'll take the Good Berry for Lacan.
How many can I make again?
10.
10. I give 5 for Lacan and 5 for Cyrene.
Who do you use healing word on?
Can I cast it twice and do it once each of them?
Yeah. Go ahead and cast it again. Okay. So as you heal them, Cyrene, her eyes kind of flutter a little bit, but then she goes back to being unconscious. Lacan, you see his hand twitch a little bit, and then he proceeds to just sit there, continuing to breathe. But it's definitely gotten a lot stronger. Both of their breathings have gotten a little bit stronger because of that.
Cool.
Suddenly, from the bottom, you hear splashing, and you see the one merfolk gentleman that was riding on the seahorse. His seahorse jumps in the air, and he tosses the tied up dude onto the deck and jumps off at the same time. And as he lands there, the dude hits the ground, is like, "You have to be so rough." And this gentleman looks like this. He introduces himself to you guys. "My name is Karzaz, and I am a paladin of the Triton Holy Army. I'm here because of this filth," and he points to the merfolk on the ground, "who, unfortunately, is the reason that creature down there has been summoned. Have any of you ever seen that creature or heard tales of a demon lord known as Dagon?"
Well,
Nope.
not an underwater demon lord, but we did see another kobold demon lord just get summoned not too long ago.
No.
Oh no, sorry, no.
You know what? Let me write that in my notes real quick. That's a good idea. No one thought that was funny? Fuck y'all.
Sorry, I actually was taking notes.
Oh, yeah.
So it was a
So
pain.
he ends up he starts roughing up the merfolk, Donvis, and pulls him over here towards the middle so that he can't like squirm away, and then he keeps a foot on him. Dagon is the demon lord of the abyssal underwater realms. And it wasn't until late that I discovered exactly why the Sahagin had left their home out of nowhere. And it's because they increased their raids in these locations, in these waters, in order to bring the corpses that you saw down there as sacrifices. No doubt many of them were already dead, for most of them had probably been preserved for many weeks. And even though they use some sort of magic to keep those that require air with the ability to breathe, it was only a matter of time before their bodies failed. Ultimately, from what I was able to gather from this one's notes, is that it required royal blood to finish the summoning, which is the whole reason he joined your pirate crew. As he looks over at Keto, it's the whole reason he brought his formal flame and even played the part. I'm almost certain that he would never, ever do anything or get involved with anyone unless it was Cyrene. Unfortunately, though, I was too late, and it seems that Dagon has graced us with his presence. But luckily, we were all able to make it out alive. I will lend you this warning. These areas of the sea will no longer be safe. You will not be able to guarantee your safety as you travel between the kingdoms now that Dagon is here. So I would tread carefully. Only move across the oceans when you need to. The Triton army will do its best to figure out exactly what we can do about this threat, as it is unfortunately our scope of responsibility and we have failed. Hopefully this does not lead to a cataclysmic failure to the world. I will be taking this gentleman back with me to Triton, and he will be put on trial, and then more than likely he will be executed. I would request to bring Cyrene back with me as well, but ultimately she is within the Peacekeeper's realm. So, when she does wake up, I should say, if you would allow her to make her decision, for she could testify and help us with this case. Or, regardless, if she doesn't want to, that's her choice. Otherwise...
Well, thanks for taking this guy off our hands. We'll be sure to tell her when she wakes up.
Make sure you tell her I love her. I did this all for her. Scum. And he kind of kicks him in the mouth, and he's like, everything I've ever done is for her. Don't worry, you'll all get yours.
I say nothing to him.
Anyway, he grabs the dude and goes, because you have all been a witness to this, at some point in time we may call for you to visit us at the holy city of Triton in order to give us your findings and dictate exactly what you saw. Everyone's perspective will be taken into consideration so that we can figure out what exactly is going on. But until then, I bid you the safest of luck, and it's probably best you set sail right away. And he heads over to the edge. Is there anything you have of me? As he's about to jump.
How will we contact you?
A paladin, correct?
Correct.
Would you be able to aid both our comrades
He looks
and heal
over.
them further?
Sure. And he walks over. Since Zuka is right there, he puts the gentleman down and looks at Zuka and goes, "Would you stand on him for me? Make it hurt."
I think he just called you fat, Zuka.
No shame. I sit on him.
Dope. Oh, God! Oh, God! He can't even say any words because of how heavy Zuka is. You see the paladin go over to each of them. He removes his glove, and you see this holy light as he uses lay on hands for 15 HP on Cyrene and 15 on Lacan. Their breathing is a little bit better, but it's still not enough to bring them full conscious. That is all I can muster. It's a long road home, so I can't use everything, especially with what we've just witnessed. We will meet again, all of you, and I really do hope that we do actually meet again, for that means you're still alive. And until then, he walks off the side, and you hear a loud splash. And then if any of you were to look over the side, you would see a couple of dark figures all sort of gathering, and then all start moving south. Hey, you're back, and in one piece. Did we happen, Keto, did we happen to find what we needed?
Yep, I've got it right here.
Perfect, let me get it.
She hands over the emerald square thing.
Perfect. You know what, Keto? This is monumentous. I don't know what that word means, but I heard someone smart say it, so it must be good. But
right, sir.
You know what? 10 months of pay for you. Yeah. No, I'll make sure that Mr. Tucker knows, and he denotes it and puts it on your pay schedule. I need to make sure this gets to my cabin safe. We'll be pulling off here soon. I'm sure you made good friends. So yes, I'll be right back, actually. And you watch him like very excitedly run to the door, and he opens it up and goes inside. He's probably gone for like 2 minutes, leaving the rest of you chilling there with Keto and Drown and the rest of your party. Drown kind of goes over to Keto and says, I know that one lad said he was going to take care of the bill. Is there anything you could do, maybe, so I don't have to pay that bullshit? I feel like we were probably the reason that he was even able to get whatever that emerald thing is.
I'll talk to Captain V, and anything that he doesn't wipe clean, I'll cover for you.
Perfect, thank you. And I did look over, while y'all were gone, I did look over the repairs, and they are quite good, as much as I hate to say it. But in all honesty, the things you guys do infuriates me to my core.
We are nothing but businessmen. But just remember that you owe me a big favor for taking care of this.
I'd rather owe you than that scum.
Good to know.
So at this point, if you guys wish to roleplay with yourselves, you may.
Well, it was fun hanging out with you guys. I don't even know your names. Just your awesome nicknames that I gave you.
Well, I'm Alfric, and I put my hand out to shake her hand.
She kind of looks at it for a second, and then she's like, okay. And then she shakes it back.
So, what will you do now?
I don't know. Since Cyrene is alive, I owed her a debt. And, I mean, if she's alive, then I don't have to take her place. So, I may just stay with the crew for a while. I don't know. Now that the seas aren't safe, I may maybe find something to live on land. Possibly. I've never been one for the land, though, so the sea's always been my home.
Okay. Well.
And you, Blondie, what's your name?
Mirrodin.
Who's the one with the trunk? I like him.
His name is Zuka.
Interesting. And the others?
She points to Flig Flam and the two armored ones.
It's Flig Fam. There's no second L.
Okay. I like that. How'd you get that name?
It's just, I don't know. I woke up with it.
It's not like a family name or anything?
Family? Oh no, I'm a guild brownie.
Ah. She whispers to Mirrodin, I don't know what that means.
That was the perfect setup for a meme, and you missed it, Martin.
I don't know what you're talking about. A guild brownie? How is that a meme?
Not that, but you going, I don't know what that means, and he could have been like, nobody knows what it means, but it's provocative. It gets the people going.
Yes!
Oh,
God. Thank you, Brady. Shiny ones, what are your names? Well, at least the one who's awake.
The name's Cassius.
Good. I like your horse, friend. How much for the horse?
Continues to aid Lacan, or, do what he can for Lacan. Kind of ignored that.
Wow, rude. I turn to Alfric. I'll get that horse.
Okay. Good luck with that.
Oh, you can try, but it'll disappear.
Ooh! Ooh, a disappearing horse? Even better.
So at this point, Captain V runs out and he's like, Guido, we gotta go. We got things to do and money to get.
Sounds great.
Could you get that gentleman's receipt real quick and shred it up?
Will do, Captain.
I'm feeling quite generous today, and you, sir, Captain Drown, I hope to see you very soon on the seas.
Air 5, Captain B.
And he air fives you. And his
All right,
his
Drown.
hawk screams in victory.
Nice. All right, Drown. Your receipt has been ripped. Don't forget, you still owe me a favor.
Yeah, better repay that than that stupid receipt. Y'all take care. At least you. The rest of them can drown.
Bye, everyone. It was interesting, I guess, meeting you. Hopefully we'll meet again in the future.
And you watch as the sailors sort of slap the rope to where the hooks come undone, and then they reel them up, and the boat ends up starting to catch wind with the sails, and it sails off. As that's happening, Drown looks to you guys. Should we continue you guys on your way to Cyrodiil or head back to the city? Regardless.
How far would it, we only traveled like an hour out, right? So
yeah,
how far would it be?
It's like you're 2 hours out, and wind is favorable going back home. So it would only take like an hour. Drown expects.
No, I meant the other way.
It would take
original
you
way.
a little less than a day and a half.
Well, if the seas are too dangerous to sail, I would suggest returning to land as soon as possible.
Alfred, Mirrodin?
I'd say push forward.
Yeah, let's get heading back.
So Cyrodiil?
It's not smart to go to Cyrodiil at this moment because we might not be able to come back. This is a thing we should probably report to the guild.
Yeah.
All right.
Like with the other demonic entity that rose up from who knows where.
Back to the city of guilds it is then, and he has you guys do your sailing maneuvers that Zuka and Mirrodin definitely learned. Alfric was not there, nor was Cassius or Flickflame. So you guys help him, you guys maneuver the boat, and he actually sails southwest a little bit to where you guys can get into range of the shore, and then he starts moving up towards the port. And with that, we'll go ahead and end tonight's session. So, since your two characters are still alive, I'm going to actually send you, and when I say you, Kirsten and Lacan will get, there's two things I need you to add to their character sheet. If you guys don't do them, I will take over your character and do them myself. It's kind of a forced roleplay kind of thing, unfortunately.
Okay.
And the two characters that you did create for this, obviously Keto is going back to sea, but if Cyrene were to die, that's going to be your second character, and we'll pull her back into the story. Same thing with Lacan. If Lacan were to die and actually die again, then Cassius will come back and take his place. Other than that, the rest of you that haven't had to make a new character yet, I would definitely keep it in your thoughts, because I think last session when those two characters did die, pretty sure it threw everyone for a loop. So just make sure you are aware it could happen in any session. So always have it kind of in the back of your mind who you would play next. Until then, I'm going to go ahead and end my stream, and I'll be right back. All right, so hopefully the stream went on without any incidents. If not, then oh well. I recorded it and I will upload it whenever I can. I'm not sure how long the upload's going to take, but until we see you next time, peace!